So you brought up Vinnie being an encouraging
Yeah.
figure in your life. He gave you the name Madball.
That's correct.
Tell me.
Vinnie being Vinnie, you know?
Was it based off the toy or the sock
toy.
with
I
the...
don't want to say that exactly,
Sure.
but could very well have
Okay.
been strongly
that's
influenced by
funny.
that.
That's funnier because
Yeah.
that's Stigma watching TV, seeing this toy and being like, that reminds me of Freddy.
There's another component to it. I do have a little bit of a temper.
As an 11-year-old?
You know, only if I'm agitated. Like,
Sure.
if you bring it out, if you got me going,
Yeah.
I could be a madball.
Hello, welcome. It's HardLore time. How you doing, Bo?
I'm doing great, Colin. Where are we today?
We are at Black Heart Barber Company in Nashville, Tennessee for one of the most monumental days in the history of our sport here. We have maybe the definitive hardcore frontman, realistically. This is a true lifer of the genre. One of our most anticipated guests of all time.
Someone on the immediate list in the beginning.
Like, the show started, it was like, well, if we could get Freddy one day, that'd be great. Many call him the chosen one. Please, everyone, welcome New York's own Freddy Madball.
Thank you guys. The
Absolutely.
chosen one.
The chosen one.
Wow, that's a first.
The new king
awesome.
right here,
That's
as
awesome,
some would say.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How you doing?
Thank you guys, appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words.
Of course.
Doing great.
Yeah. Nashville,
great.
huh?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, man.
How long?
I've been here a few years now.
Cool.
Yeah.
You dig it?
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah.
I really do, actually. A lot of cool people. I've come across people from like back east, from West Coast that I know. Like, yeah, making a lot of good connections here with good people, and it's like, yeah, I love it.
Is it the centrality of it all in terms of being a traveling guy? That...
Yeah, a few things. You know, cost of living, and my wife has some family out here. I got a couple of very close friends that ended up making their way out here. So there were a few things that kind of drew us to this area.
Sure.
But I love it.
Beautiful.
So far, so good.
Was it hard to leave New York?
Well, actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I actually was in Florida for a bunch of years, in between New York and here.
Interesting. So you
Yeah.
went Florida, New York, Florida. Or New
I did
Jersey,
a lot
Florida,
of-
New
yeah,
York, Florida.
Yes. My whole life has been between New York and Florida, Jersey, a little Jersey sprinkled in there, of course. So this is the first place that's not on the East Coast.
Sure.
That's not New York or Florida.
Okay.
So it's new. It's a new experience for
Well,
sure.
Nashville, you got Freddy now. You're doing great.
Yeah, it's on. But yeah, Florida's always been in the mix since my childhood. And I was there for a lot of years. My kids were born there, and so I was raising my family there, and then now we're here.
Well, before we get into Freddy Madball, I think we have to start with Agnostic Fred. And
Okay.
you know, we say the chosen one because you're a very unique case where normally we ask guests, how did you find music? How did you find hardcore music? Well, in your case, hardcore found you very young. So tell us about finding hardcore at 7 years old through your brother Roger and Agnostic Front.
Agnostic Fred. That's awesome. You guys do your homework.
Come on.
Yeah, man. I don't know that very many people have even brought that up ever in an interview. So that was good. Yes, I was Agnostic Fred before I was Madball. I mean, yeah. It's funny because, like you said, hardcore found me. I didn't come from like metal or punk, which is typically, you know, like the case with people. You know, even like my brother and Vinnie, they come from punk. And then
Yeah, I think your brother's quote of like, never trust a hardcore kid who didn't come from punk.
didn't come from punk, yeah. And like, yeah, I mean, that's how he found hardcore.
Yeah.
Being in the punk scene, and then stumbled upon this new thing, and then boom. So for me, it wasn't any of that. I wasn't a metalhead and I wasn't a punk rocker. The first like, heavy style music that I discovered was Agnostic Front, Victim in Pain, actually United Blood before that. And I mean, yeah, you hear rock stuff or even like heavier stuff like, Iron Maiden or, Black Sabbath or like those kind of names, those big names. Of course, I had heard of those bands, and I maybe even knew some songs, but it wasn't what I was into.
Yeah, it wasn't your thing.
It wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
I loved all music. Like as a kid, I mean, I was big into hip hop as a kid. Like, still am. Huge. Like that was like a big thing for me. From like long as I can remember. So the first heavy music that I got into, that really got immersed into, was hardcore. Yes, and it was obviously Agnostic Front.
So some people flip through records and they find a Metallica record, or some people might find like, I don't know, a Bad Brains record at best.
Sure. That's best case scenario.
And you created in a lab, find like the purest form.
The
of
golden
this
egg.
thing.
I was lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, like I have other siblings, and like there were like all kinds of records in my house. So like there'd be like a random like Led Zeppelin record, or like, and then there'd be sitting right next to like a salsa record, because I'm Latin, like my mom's Cuban, my dad's Colombian. So like heavily, there's always been like a lot of Latin music in my house. Different styles, a lot of salsa, but like that was always big. And I always liked it. I wasn't like, oh, I hate my parents' music. I enjoyed the music. And then there'd be like my sister's stuff, and like random disco and like 80s pop. And,
Sure.
and then there'd be like heavier stuff. There's like such an eclectic variety of like music.
But it wasn't your cool tattooed older brother,
And then you pull out the
This
gatefold,
thing,
Victim in Pain, and
Yeah.
it was like, that was the hard stuff, and then like, I mean, does it get any
So
better? Really?
Roger was your no, it does not.
Right.
So Roger's your half brother.
He is.
Did you guys grow up together?
We did. We never really used the term half brother with. So it's Roger, my brother Rudy, and my sister Myra.
Okay.
They're all. Roger's like 12 years older. Rudy's like 10, 11 years old. They're all just like. There's like a 10-year gap between us, at least, and so they were all born in Cuba.
That's right.
In my mom's first marriage, when she was like 16.
Okay.
Crazy. And so they're all Cuban.
So the whole family's first generation American.
I'm whatever you would consider me, second or first. Like I'm the first one in my entire family born in America.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
whatever that would be, first or second. But yeah, they're all born in Cuba. They're all Cubans.
Wow.
And so my mom came over with 3 little kids, and then she met my dad in New Jersey.
Okay.
And then her and Roger's dad split up. My dad came into the picture. He was younger than their dad. My dad's younger than my mom. And then a whole other chapter
Yeah, big
started, and I was born, and here we are. But yeah, we never spoke like my little half brother or anything like that, because I was like the baby to them. Like, they took care of me. They were like, oh, like
12 years is a big gap.
yeah.
That's like a part-time caretaker.
Yeah, my mom was gonna have, like, my mom miscarried a bunch of times.
Wow.
Before me and after me.
Oh wow.
So they were always expecting this little brother or sister that was like, when is this thing coming? Like, when's this little kid coming? And so every time she would like miscarry or whatever, it'd be like, and then finally I came. So it was like a big deal when I came into the picture.
Yeah,
It's
you're
like,
a celebration.
It really, it happened.
Great.
And then after me, my mom tried again with my dad, and she could never make it happen again. She lost twins in one of those, either before or after me, lost twins as well. So yeah, it's sad, but
Brutal.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
I made it through somehow.
You did. We're glad you did.
Through,
And was this time period when you first see that Victim in Pain or the United Blood EP? Is this you're in New Jersey at the time, or were you?
I'm in Florida
you're
at
in
the time. Yeah, I was born in Jersey, and we relocated to Florida when I was about 4 or 5 years old, young. And yeah, my grandfather went to Florida, and my dad followed him. They wanted sunshine and like tropical, because that's kind of the climate where they come from.
Of course. Yeah.
So, but Roger stays in New York, or
Roger
goes
stays
to
in New York. Roger's not having it. He's like, I'm not going to Florida. He's like, he's older, me, like what, 16, 17,
Sure.
like a kid, but in those days he was older.
Yeah. So how does it come that he goes, okay, you're gonna come to New York for a trip, vacation or something, just to visit?
Yeah.
How does Agnostic Front get presented to you as a thing that enters
Firstly
your life?
in New York.
Okay.
Yeah, because
He just wants to bring you around?
Yeah, they hadn't toured yet, so it would have been about 82, 83. That was my introduction. So it was like, I forget how I made my, I think I do remember how I made my way to New York. I went to visit an aunt in New Jersey, in Patterson. And I have a lot of family still in the New Jersey area. My family's again, between New Jersey and like Florida, South Florida, and some are sprinkled in New York. But so for one reason or another, I ended up in New Jersey visiting my aunt, my aunt and my uncle. I had a bunch of uncles there, cousins, some my age, some a little younger. And Roger picks me up in New Jersey because he's living in the city at this point. And, he's my big brother, so he wants to hang out with me.
Of course.
And that's how I get introduced to the scene at the time, which was based mostly really in like Lower East Side, like Alphabet City area. And then my whole world, just like, I just got exposed to like this whole world, which was like very different.
In its infancy,
In its infancy.
And also in a setting, early 80s Lower East Side. What was that like?
Wow.
Especially for a child.
As just like how the pictures
and
depict it, it's like crazy.
Sure.
Some places look like third world country, like war zone, and then there was always an element of like a lot of cool art. I mean, East Village, Lower East Side, Alphabet City. It was like a hub for artists. So it was like music, art, this, that. So there's always that element sprinkled in there, But yeah, a lot of crazy, a lot of drug, like people nodding out, a lot of weird. But they tried to insulate me as best they could. They took care of me. They did make me panhandle a couple times, but
I'll
forgive them. I'll forgive them for that. I'll give them a pass. But yeah, it was like my brother and Ray B's and Vinnie and like that whole Jimmy and like that whole original first generation New York hardcore guys. Like they all like I was like, hey, look at this little kid. So they took me around and I went to A7.
So they're psyched to have you around.
They were psyched to have me around, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, otherwise my brother would have just kicked me,
100%.
brought me back to my aunt's house and been like, all right, we had fun, took him for an ice cream. Here he goes.
I think Madball's whole existence is like proof that your brother loves you in a way. Like especially in the early.
I question that sometimes, but you're right.
If you break it down,
yes.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
But so what
that
was
or he's a mad scientist.
Right.
And he was experimenting. I think it's a bit of both.
I said
I
made
can
in
see
the lab.
that. I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. And we'll get there in just a second. Do you remember much from your life from 7 to 11 years old?
Yeah.
I don't remember much. There's not outside of like a couple action figures I was excited about and bands I started to like. In your case, you have all these photos and videos popping up of you as a little kid on stage. How vivid is all of that to you still?
I mean, I'm with you. Like, my memory's not great like that. Like, I know people that have like photographic memories and like, it's more vague, but the pictures do help me, remind me of a scenario or a situation. Yes, the pictures are great. Like when I come across those pictures, I could sort of transport myself to that time period and remember almost even what I was smelling at the time. Like,
It's so funny you said that because I was going to say you'll see an old picture and you will remember how that bar smelled, or how the stage smelled.
Yeah, or the house that was like a squat, and they had like a distinct odor. They made not necessarily a bad one, just like a squatty odor,
unique,
like whatever that is.
100%.
And so like pictures are great for that, people are lucky nowadays to have just like photographs of their whole entire life from beginning to end, because it's just going to be like, I'm not going to forget anything.
Yeah, because otherwise we just have books, like
exactly.
a photo album.
And those are gone.
And that's it.
You lose those in the fire every time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you recall your first time singing on stage?
Well, there's that picture of it, which reminds me of how I felt.
Sure.
And you could see my face in it, and I'm terrified. So,
yeah.
And I remember being nervous, but I remember also having the desire to do it. You know, so it was like, I'm scared, but I'm going to do it. You know, like, I'm not, you know, like, and
you were surely influenced and encouraged by your brother.
Yeah.
Like Roger can do it, I can do this.
For sure. I mean, you know, you always look up to your big brothers, and, you know, in like so many ways. And yeah, I was learning the songs. I was starting to like mouth the songs and be like, okay, yeah. I mean, they're simple songs. And then it was my brother, but I also have to credit Vinnie. Because I think he also caught me like kind of singing like one of the songs and being like, oh, the kid knows the songs. You know, and I think...
And that's so him. After spending time with him.
Yeah.
Come on, kid.
He's always he's scouting.
Exactly. I'm still the kid. You know? I'm the kid.
Okay.
I'm a half a century old, but I'm the kid. Trust me.
Okay.
So he's, you know, I think he kind of looked at my brother, and it was like, I don't know if they spoke about it or if it was just kind of like they spoke with their eyes, like, or, you know, but then it was just like somehow, some way they just kind of were like, go ahead, do it.
So did you get the bug from that first time?
I think so.
Yeah.
I would say.
That's awesome.
I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you brought up Vinnie being an encouraging figure in your life. He gave you the name Madball.
That's correct.
Tell me.
Yeah,
that's correct.
That was one of my...
Vinnie being Vinnie, you know? He might have been influenced by other things that were going on in the 80s at that time. And, you know, like watching a lot of TV and in Mott Street, at the Mott Street apartment, you know?
Yeah.
So was it based off the toy or the sock
toy.
with
I don't want to say that exactly, but could very well have been strongly influenced by that.
That's funnier because that's Stigma watching TV, seeing this toy and being like, that reminds me of Freddy.
Well, picture him watching like whatever he's watching, you know, regular TV.
That's funny already.
That's funny already. Just chilling out and, you know, talking to the TV.
Yeah.
And then, you know that's happening. I mean, I've seen it.
Sure.
So, I love you, Stiggy. And then, like, a commercial comes on, and it's like, Madball, right? So, it was, I think, more that than the actual, like, it was just the sound of it reminded him of me somehow.
Wow.
I was kind of a Madball. Like, I kind of, like, there's another component to it. It's, you know, I do have a little bit of a temper, and, you know, only if I'm agitated, like if you bring it out. And
As an 11-year-old?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I think like sometimes for like tour fun, they would like piss me off just to see how it would react.
Regular old
Like,
scrappy dude.
This is the mad scientist part.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I think they would like poke at me and like, not Vinnie. Vinnie was cool. But like, you know, my brother and a few other people would like, I think they just, you know, like they'd get bored.
Get you wound up.
And be like, let's mess with the kid and see what he does.
Why not mess with the kid?
And cut to me throwing rocks at the van and like, really, I'd get like enraged.
Okay.
You know?
And I would have assumed that the band name came from a billiard ball and a Madball, you know. And one would
sort of fitting later on in life.
Yeah,
sure. But
Yeah.
it's funny that it's almost like it's actually very wholesome.
Yeah.
the way it actually came about.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a little more wholesome, like exactly like you said. But it was a combo of like Vinnie's imagination and my temperament.
Sure.
When I got messed with.
Sure.
Otherwise, I was a pretty chill kid, I think. But if you got me going, I could be a Madball.
Okay.
And one day he was just like, Madball, you know. And then I had shaved my head. So, you know, the whole
and you looked
like,
just
ball
like
look. It was like, it just became Madball.
You know, there's a difference between finding something peripherally at 7 years old or your brother showing you something that's kind of like, okay, cool, and then it becoming a lifestyle community. How strong was that feeling for you at between 7 and 11 years old to be like, okay, this is the place I want to be. This is my thing.
Super strong.
Okay, immediately.
Especially that age range. Because there was a time where I sort of fell out of hardcore. That's later, but 7 to 12, 13-ish. Yeah, I was like, I just became immersed in it, and then like I was bummed to go to Florida. Like when I would have to go back to Florida, I was bummed. I was like, I just want to be in New York. Like I had met such cool people. Something about the living outside of the norm really spoke to me. The music clearly resonated with me, because otherwise I just wouldn't have even, because people, you have to remember, like, every single thing your older sibling plays for you, you're not going to necessarily like that. No. You know what I mean? Like you could
but
also,
the one you like, you are going to remember forever.
You could put something on and go, that's not my thing, man. That's not my bag. I'm over here.
Yeah.
But when it speaks to you and it resonates with you, it could change your life.
Yeah.
Clearly it did. And that was like what early AF records did for me. But yeah, man, that range, I was like all about it.
And in that range, sorry to interrupt.
No.
In that range, are you living with Roger?
No, I'm living with my family
But I mean, when you're in New York, when you're visiting.
Yeah, I mean, like, even when I'd be visiting, like, sometimes, like, it'd be like, oh, I'm going to go visit my family in New Jersey. And, responsible adults and, like, my cousins. And, like, but I was always looking for an excuse to, like, go to
Get
New York.
over it.
Yeah, let's go,
when
let me go hang with my brother. Like,
100%.
Yeah.
When you get home to Florida, is there like a single other hardcore kid? No. So you're an outcast at home, dying to get back.
You're just boiling.
I can remember going to school with the first time I shaved my head, and people looking at me weird. They're like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
And it was just like, because I had like, I don't know, whatever haircut you have at that time in like the 80s, early 80s, like some kind of whack haircut, and like, I was like, screw this, shave my head. My mom was bummed. Oh, you beautiful hair, and
You do have beautiful
Oh,
hair.
gorgeous hair.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. But moms.
Yeah, of course.
Your beautiful hair, and I'm like, and then I forget, like I might have had like I don't know what, some kind of AF shirt on, and like I was just dressed. I wasn't like outlandish. It wasn't like I had like 5-color hair and like really, really trying to like be shocking, but whatever I was wearing was shocking to those people. Like,
I mean, was the word skinhead subversive to the average person in 1983, 84?
I mean, sadly, that word was like negative.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
like
You're a bad guy.
it wasn't the skinhead.
Like
that I knew.
already?
Yeah.
Already, like
Wow.
early 80s, already. Like it was more subversive, but the people that did know immediately thought that for some reason.
Oh.
And like I'm
So Agnostic
that's
Front,
not the skinhead that I know.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm like, I'm in New York with like black skins and
Yeah, of
like
course.
Latin and like every Jewish, like
yeah.
it's like that's not the world that I'm a part of.
Sure. Was there part of it, so like Agnostic Front using the word skinhead when it's like a dirty word, even in the time?
Pretty brave.
Is it kind of like a fuck you to?
Kinda.
Okay.
Kinda. I mean, they're pretty punk, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
pretty like FU. So like, I mean, I think they were just flying the flag of what they were.
This is us.
They were New York skins.
Yeah. It was genuine.
It was
authentic.
genuine. From them, but I don't even think they realized until they started touring how bad that climate was, as far as like it becoming more political, and then like the right, wing and Nazi skin, like all that element. I think they really started to see that more as they traveled, and I saw some of it as well.
Sure.
Because I was there, with them. So I was like, I can, it's kind of wild.
How are you getting into non-all ages shows at the time?
That's a great question.
Great question. I think they snuck me into It was either A7 or CB's. Well, A7 maybe didn't need to because A7
It's so
the show
small.
started at like 1 in the morning or something like crazy like that, and it was like more wild style, like run by the kids.
Sure. We've been in there
Yeah,
recently, and
like
it's tiny.
Dijon took us after we had the day with Vinnie, and it's so small, but he took us in the back where they have all the stuff still.
Yeah.
Very cool, but
Super small scene, you know, back then.
If you see a little kid, you'd know there's a little kid in there.
That's what I was
sneaking in. Yeah.
For sure.
like you're still sneaking in a child.
Yeah, I don't know, like, I don't remember how I know that CB's was bad. They were strict, man.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Was it? When did it
alcohol.
become CB's and not Hilly's on the Bowery? Was it already
That's probably
CB's?
before my time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's before my time.
Okay.
Vinny would be a better person to ask
He
for
said
that.
he went there when it was still Hilly's. I
Oh
wonder if he
yeah,
did as
Vinny.
well.
Yeah, Vinny. Yeah, that's his.
Yeah, big time.
That's his thing. Yeah, he'd tell you about Max's Kansas. He would tell you about all that old like where punk was transitioning into hardcore. By the time I went there, it was already CB's.
Okay.
But the Sunday matinees were probably just starting or hadn't hit their stride yet. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But I had to be, we had to talk to them about me being in there, and they didn't necessarily sneak me in, but I could only go do a song and leave. And I had to be escorted in and escorted out by either Big Charlie, who was like old school security guy there, great guy, rest in peace, Big Charlie, or like Ray B's or like one of the guys.
Would you just hang out outside then?
Yeah. So I would just be hanging out. Like my brother would have his van out there, doors open, people hanging. I mean, that was kind of a thing anyways, like at CB's. Like people really like to hang out outside because in there it's all dingy and dark. So you really only went in when the show was happening. The cool part was the hang outside.
I mean,
you
to
know,
this day.
Still is.
Yeah.
whether you drank, didn't matter.
Sure.
Like everyone hung out, talked to each other. You know, you had the straight edge faction, you had the drinkers, you had this. Didn't matter. You know, everyone respected each other, knew each other, and like, so yeah, I'd hang out in the van until it was like, you know, I was allowed to go in. And sometimes I'd extend my time inside. I'd cheat and be like, they're not saying anything. And then eventually someone would be like, hey, you got to get your brother out of here. He's not supposed to be in here.
And as that for like liability reasons on their end?
Exactly.
It's interesting that they cared about that.
Really.
Considering everything else about it.
And there was a bunch of 16-year-olds in there.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, I guess there's a difference. but
11,
It's like
yeah.
11, 16.
Was
no
there a
difference.
single other 11-year-old present, like even in
not-
the community at the time?
You know?
The chosen one.
Yeah.
Not that I can remember.
Yeah, you're Luke
Not that I can
Skywalker.
remember. No, I think I was like one of the younger. There were a lot of young people on the scene, but no one as young as me. No, not that I can remember.
You mentioned that you were a hip hop head.
Yes, very much.
That's not so much a genre that we know all that much about.
Sure.
Were you into hip hop at that time?
Yeah.
Was hip hop? I don't even really know when hip hop really like took off. I know it being New York.
Hip hop and hardcore are kind of almost the same age. I think. Like I think hip hop may have
Hip
come
hop and
like
punk, maybe. Yeah.
just before like hardcore, the way we know it. But similar in age. I mean, obviously, hip hop's trajectory is like it's pop. now.
Yeah, that's
it's
just
essentially
music.
pop music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Who were some of the artists that?
I mean, I loved like you know, we had like in my house there were like Curtis Blow records, which is like super old, which was kind of like before my time, but I still was like I liked it. And, you know, we had Sugar Hill Gang records, Grandmaster Flash. We had like all those old records, but the stuff that I started to like kind of like on my own was like Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh had this had a record that had like I guess it'd be like an EP. It had like just a couple of songs on it, and it was called The Show. And so it had like Lottie Dottie on the other side. It was like the B-side. And that was like, I think I even bought that record with my own money or like my own money.
Yeah. From the
and so-
panhandling that they made.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right.
Sure.
So, yeah, stuff like that. And then, of course, like Run DMC, LL Cool J, like the names that everyone,
Sure.
you know.
But in their infancy, as far
Yeah.
as like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
relative
like-
to now.
License to Ill when it first dropped, Beastie Boys' first record. You
Were
know,
those
that was
guys
like a big one
around?
for me. I love that record.
Were those guys around when you were first coming around?
I didn't know them super well, but my brother, Vinnie, those guys know those guys, yes.
Okay. Was there a bit of like, oh, these guys are taking off now, too cool type thing? Or was it like,
I
we're
never
proud of
got
those
that
guys?
vibe. And Jimmy was especially, you know, I'm talking about, you know, Jimmy from Murphy's Law.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, anytime I say Jimmy, there's only one Jimmy.
Okay.
There's many Jimmys, but there's only, you know.
In your world.
Yeah. He was tight with them.
Okay.
They brought out Murphy's Law on their first big arena tour
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
in America for the License to Ill album, which is basically where they just popped off.
Yeah,
they
was
took
it.
off right after that. And I mean, they were already doing arenas
insane.
on like their first tour. So that just goes to show you where they were headed. And I thought it was super cool that they brought out Murphy's Law.
It's awesome.
Like, because like Murphy's Law meant a lot to New York hardcore, but like in the big picture, they weren't like some big band.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really cool.
I know one of them. I forget which Beastie Boy also played bass for Cro-Mags a couple times too. Like later on, or mid 80s.
Yeah.
I know. I forget
Yeah, I'm
which
trying to
who
think.
it
Yeah,
was.
I'm trying to think about that.
You know, the first time I ever played New York, we went to Flight Club, the shoe store, early 2000s.
Yeah,
Grandmaster Flash walked in,
yeah.
dropped like 10 grand on shoes in 2003 money, you know?
That's like
He's
$500,000.
he ages well too. He's like in great
double
shape.
parked, came in, just bought a bunch of shit, had it put in his car and left, and it was like the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Real
Yeah.
New York moment.
Yeah.
So Agnostic Front pulls you in, Murphy's Law's around. What were other hardcore bands you connected to at that time that were kind of popping off?
Yeah, what demos?
Because
were you
like,
psyched on?
your brother's in Agnostic Front, and that's going to get you there. But finding this collective of other bands is what's going to keep you there.
Pretty much anyone that played with AF, I just, at that time, I just loved the culture. You know, like
You're
I'm
a
not.
sponge. You're just so
Yeah, and I'm not like, I wish I should have been better about this, but like, I'm not like a great historian of the core of the culture, you know? Like, I don't have like every 7-inch. I don't have like, I couldn't name you every single band, you know? But, you know, all the New York bands, obviously, classic bands, Warzone, this, you know, like all those bands, I mean, goes without saying. Sick of it all, you know. I liked it all, you know, and obviously my world grew bigger as time went on, and I got to travel and meet other bands from other places. But yeah, anyone that like AF toured with, or anyone that played CBs when I was there, I just was hungry to like absorb whatever was going on, you know, and I really, you know, as I got older, then I started to find the stuff that really, really, you know,
Connected with you? Sure.
affected me, which was like, you know, Brightside from Killing Time, and like certain Sheer Terror records, and like, you know, even like the first Cro-Mags, Major Quarrel, you know, like, you know, those things are like impactful to like, I think anyone
To this
that's into
day, yeah,
hardcore
that's-
pretty
that's
much.
the
but
landmark.
like, those were important records for me that I kind of started to find, you know, my own taste.
Yeah.
You know?
And those, you're 15 when those are coming out. And that there's a big difference between
7.
the thing you hear at 7 years
'cause
old.
when you're a kid, you kind of don't know. You just kind of see who you see, and like you're just like, cool, cool, cool. I mean, I was on tour with GBH, with AF, and they were just such cool guys, and I just loved them just based on like,
He was nice
how
to
cool
me.
they
I like
were.
his
Yeah,
band.
just kind
they were just cool English dudes, and like, you know, I didn't know that they were gonna be this like legendary, you know, British punk
Sure.
kind of hardcore-ish band too, because they're like super influential to hardcore, you know, like GBH, Discharge, like those kind of heavy punk bands, I think, influenced early hardcore. And
Everything
vice
comes
versa,
from
vice
somewhere.
versa.
And
Yeah.
that's it.
One thing that surprised both of us when we were talking and when we spent the day with Vinnie, and something that I heard you say, we played a fest together somewhere in Europe maybe 2 years ago now. Bad Religion was also playing. We played a fest Brutal Assault or something. The one with all that big excavators.
Okay.
You know the one?
Okay.
And
I think I know where you might be going with this, and I'm happy you're asking this, if it's what I think.
you just said we got hardcore royalty in the house.
Yeah.
And I want everybody to give it up and make sure you watch Bad Religion.
Yeah.
And this was years before we talked to Vinnie, before I knew that Bad Religion I wouldn't have guessed would be an influential band
Yeah.
to the guys in New York, to the East Coast.
Well, specifically, like my brother, I remember my brother wearing a Bad Religion shirt in the early 80s. Like he would play shows with like this old Bad Religion shirt. That
On
was
the
like,
United Blood 7-inch cover.
Maybe you're right, yes.
Yeah.
And like, I think he like, everyone back then would like bedazzle their shirt, like cut it off, or like, and which happens now too, right? Sometimes you want to just, cut the sleeves off. Nothing wrong with that.
Hey, you're preaching to
You know what I
the
mean?
conductor.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You might want to trim the bottom a little bit.
100%.
It happens.
It happens.
So I remember that symbol like,
There's
like
nothing
very
cooler than
vividly. Like that logo is very much like, but I was watching that interview with Brett.
Yeah.
And I want to preface what I'm going to say with this. I have so much respect for Brett because we were on Epitaph briefly. Mm-hmm. It was sort of an unfortunate thing because it was, I think, one of our stronger records.
Yeah.
But we didn't really get to push it the way it deserved to be pushed.
Understood.
And a lot of that had to do with me. I got into some legal stuff. At this point, I'm older and I'm getting into all kind of street shenanigans, dumb stuff. And so I got myself in a bad situation. And, I got locked up briefly, did a little skid bid, blah, blah, blah. And it hindered that push. And then I was excited to, revisit the opportunity. And then we lost the guys that were the lineup at the time. So it was just like a mess.
Sure.
Just to give you a little context about Hold It Down, about why that was never really pushed so hard. But fast forward to, I don't know, a few years back, Brett, I asked Brett for the album, straight up. And because I was like, it's sort of like living in like obscurity in a way at like Epitaph. And I asked him for the record, and Tim is a friend of mine from Rancid. And so Tim was like, oh man, Brett's cool. Just talk to him and I'll put a good word in. And I mean, I know Brett, but like not super well. He's not my homie like that. And all it really took was a phone call and a couple of emails, and he let me have that record, which is unbelievable.
Insane.
He's a genuine punk.
Dude, that is the most punk thing. That was like no red tape, no BS. He was just like, yeah, Freddie, you deserve it. You deserve it. Like, he understood. I mean, it wasn't like it's something that's making him a bunch of money anyway.
Sure,
but I mean,
still, that
it
does
makes
not
something.
happen.
But the money thing is irrelevant because there are people who will like hold on to stuff, even if it's not making them any money. They just want to have ownership of it.
Yeah, because it could.
Someday.
Because you never know.
Could go in a movie or something.
Yeah.
You never know. The band could pop off later in the game, and now that record has a lot more value. And not to get too much into the business of things, and I don't want to put anyone's business out there, but I just want to thank Brett because, and I've never had the opportunity to publicly thank him for being like a stand-up dude, for being like a real guy. Like, even on our level, like even on the DIY underground level of music, people still play that industry card. People are still very business and very industry. And he was not that way. He was like, say less.
That's
Here you go.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's not a thing.
that's not a
Here,
thing.
take your album.
Yeah.
Take your masterpiece back for free.
Dude.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. I'm forever, like eternally grateful to Brett for that. So I want to preface that. Now, moving on to the Bad Religion thing. I remember on the interview, we were like, it was like my favorite hardcore band of all time. That is not exactly accurate. great band, iconic, legendary. If there's a Hall of Fame for like punk hardcore bands, they belong in it, like among others.
Agreed.
But I have to give the greatest hardcore band of all time title to AF. I'd have to be. And I think that's where the message was a little mixed because I was shouting out AF, but I also shouted out Bad Religion in the same breath. So I was saying best hardcore band in the world, Agnostic Front, but there's a lot of hardcore royalty in the house. Bad Religion in the house. And so there was like something that was like, not that there's anything wrong with like, hey, I all love and respect to Bad Religion as well, you know. But, you know.
It was still
AF always gets that.
Yeah, and we agree.
I agreed. We've said it.
But with even with that, and then with talking to Vinnie and realizing that they were that influential of a band, it's just not something that I ever really put to paper that I thought about. So it was cool to see that from both his generation and your generation. You know what I mean? That the respect is there.
I mean, those guys know better than I do, but like Cali, DC. Even like Negative Approach, which is one of my favorites. Super influential. But like, I feel like with that first generation, they were all influencing each other.
Yeah.
So like, who came first? I don't know. You know, Bad Brains or somebody out west? I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, it's all like late 70s,
It's the same
80s.
time and it's so fast.
And even if you think about United Blood, that's like 81, 82.
Sure.
So it's like, they're not far behind. AF is right there.
Right there.
You know, and they're unique. So everyone's unique. No one sounds like Bad Brains. No one sounds like Bad Religion. No one sounds like AF. No one sounds like Cause for Alarm. Or no one's, you know what I mean? Like all these bands. So it's like...
Little pivot here. You mentioned Cro-Mags earlier.
Yeah.
I've always wondered, was there ever like a silent kind of rivalry between AF and the Cro-Mags of like, who's the king in New York here? Who's the band in New York?
I mean... It's funny because they all sort of came up, like I remember when I first went to New York, Harley was very much a part of that original squad. And I know John was around as well, but for some reason I don't remember him in the mix as much. Maybe he was going through some stuff at the time, so he was a little out of the mix.
But Harley was also once the 12-year-old kid at the shows.
Right,
you know?
yeah, he's the original punk, like 12-year-old kid before me, before my time. And I give him that. But Harley was part of that original squad of guys in the early 80s that I, you know, met, that I, you know, when I became indoctrinated and became like, you know, immersed in this, Harley was there for sure. And they were homies. But I think by the mid 80s, there was some weirdness with the camps. I'm not going to lie. It's not for me to really tell AF's story.
Sure.
I hope you interview my brother.
We're dying to.
That's another one of these.
Say the word, I'll make it happen.
It's another one of the.
I make it happen the minute we get off of this. And I think it's important for the culture.
100%.
Which is what you guys do, and I appreciate that, man. You guys cover the culture in a great way. So yeah. Thank you. Salute to you guys. He'll tell you probably more in depth those things, but there was some unspoken, maybe like,
because you don't see a lot of old flyers with both bands on it.
No, they don't play together. Yeah, it's weird.
It's very interesting.
It's a good observation, and you're right. It was sort of like it became different camps.
Yeah,
let's just say that.
Yeah,
and people had different intentions, and you know,
we'll talk to Roger about it.
And now it's over 40 years ago.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, for real.
So,
but you can't deny like Age of Quarrel. Like that.
One of the best.
Undeniable.
One of the best.
Yeah.
So you turn 12 years old.
Yeah.
And somebody says to you, "Hey, let's make a band."
Rod, your brother and Stigma.
Your brother and Stigma say, "Let's."
Michael Jackson-esque, really. You know.
But is it? Hey, do you want to record something? Like, how does Ball of Destruction?
I forget how the exact conversation went, but it happened pretty organically, just because by this point it became a tradition of sorts for me to come up and sing a song with AF anytime I was with them. So, you know, I'm getting older. I'm getting a little more comfortable. I mean, I'm still like a kid. I'm shy, but I think I graduated from doing like It's My Life, which was easy enough.
Which is an Animals cover.
An Animals cover.
The
yes.
Animals.
It's our
And
guys, dude.
Those are our guys.
Yeah.
We
I love
found out-
the Animals.
Dude, they're awesome.
They're one of the best.
And they're like bad.
Huge fans of the Animals.
They're like bad boys. You know, like
They were
like,
the naughty Beatles,
They were
dude.
rough.
And I mean, the name, does it get better? Does that
fucking
name
Animals.
get
So-
It
better?
should be the fucking Animals.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, no, I love that. And that was one of those ones where like you go back and get into it after the fact.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like Vinnie, that's his era. Like he grew up with the Animals. Like he loves all that stuff.
Sure.
Hence why he hijacked that little segment of the
course,
song.
yeah.
But then you start to learn like, I mean, I went back with a lot of music. And like,
Sure.
it's like, I mean, I love old music. I love all kinds of stuff. But anyway, not to veer from the question. So that was my first song. And then Blind Justice, the end of Blind Justice into Last Warning became my thing. Like when, the end of Blind Justice starts coming with that, where you get those last lines, that build up.
And then all of Last Warning?
The mic would be the mic would be handed to me, and I don't know how that came to be, but I guess I liked those songs, and I was just like,
But also the symbolism of a little kid saying "There's no justice, there's just
there's no
us,"
justice,
is
it's
like,
just us. That was my lines. Yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah, that was the seed planted for Madball right there, and then all of Last Warning.
Yeah.
And so I would do that anytime I was with them.
Which like Last Warning is one of the biggest like mouthfuls
oh my
on
God.
on the
words.
record. So,
Yeah,
but having that inclination of like fitting all that and figuring that out as an 11-year-old, if I were your older brother, I'd also be like, this kid's singing for a band. So how does that become?
I mean, I guess they recognized something that I was able to like do it
Yeah.
and stay on time. So yeah, that was simply it. Like I would just do these songs with them wherever I was, be it Florida or New York, CB's. I think I even sung those songs on like a Live at CB's recording or one of those Live at CB's. It was one of those deals where I got brought
First
in.
one, yeah.
I sang and then they were like, get him out of here. Because it was like the craziest show ever.
Sure.
It was like just people, like everywhere. Like you couldn't barely see the band. It's like wild.
So is Madball like a cheat code? Like he's the singer of the band. You can't kick him out. He's the singer.
Yeah,
He's got to be in here.
First, I mean,
Maybe.
Madball is Madball.
Yeah.
I'm Madball.
Exactly. That's true.
But
Did Madball perform officially before anything was recorded?
yeah. Officially, unofficially, there was an AF show where a couple guys didn't make it.
Craig.
And I think Steve Martin.
That makes sense.
And so I don't know why that is, but they didn't make it to this show in New Rochelle. And my brother, being a guy who thinks on his feet,
Picks up a bass.
was
Mad
like,
scientist.
oh, well, I'll play bass, you play there, we'll do Madball. Because Madball idea concept was already there.
It was in the lab.
It was in the lab.
In this lab.
I don't remember if we had recorded Ball of Destruction yet or not.
I don't think you had.
Okay,
had recorded
probably
it by
not.
the time of the show.
But the seed was, like, we were already talking about
And
the
it's all
possibility.
AF songs, which
It's
is amazing, which is the funniest part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was more novelty than original.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's just say that.
Sure.
But yeah, Roger picked up the bass, Vinnie had the guitar, Will, and I sang the older songs. And show went off. Like the people that were there to see AF, I mean, I'm sure they were bummed, but they made the most of it. And it was cool. Like from what I remember, it was like the reception was like positive.
Who is not like in a non-derogatory way at all? You're kind of this mascot for the youth of this
Absolutely.
culture,
Yeah,
and
no,
who's
I don't.
not
I
gonna
don't
be-
take offense to it at all. I mean, I feel like I was the mascot until Madball. So like Agnostic Fred was the mascot.
Yeah, there you go.
right. And like at first I was like Agnostic Fred, like when you're a kid, especially a rebellious one like myself, you kind of want your own identity. But I didn't mind it. Because it was like, yeah, I mean, this is my family, and like, I'm with them all the time. Yeah, I'm Agnostic Fred. Okay, I'm cool with
Yeah.
it. Like, I can take it.
I'm named
I can
after
live with
the
that.
coolest
Yeah.
band in the world.
Yeah.
I am AF.
All right.
I'll accept it. But then Madball, when Vinnie christened me Madball, that felt like my own identity in a way. Like that felt like, okay, now I'm not Agnostic Fred. Now I'm just this other. And I didn't initially like Madball, the nickname. I was like, Madball, like what? You know, and then, you know, I was like a little bit like not feeling it at first. And then they were relentless with it. That's all they called me. You know, Vinnie, my brother, Craig, the whole, whoever was around at that time. That became my nickname. And so boom. Then between that, I guess my personality and then also the fact that I was singing with AF, they were like, dude, like we got to do a 7-inch with you singing like old AF songs and like, just see what happens. Like,
you said it was more novelty than serious, but like it's serious enough where that they're taking time out of their lives to record this record with you singing. So they took it somewhat seriously.
Yeah. I mean, I never viewed it that way, but yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, they could have just been like, just talked about it and just
or live only kind of thing.
Yeah. This could have been cool or would be cool, but we don't got time for that. Yeah, it's true. They did take time out. I mean, it was awesome that they did that and that they you know viewed me in a way where like, okay, I think this kid can pull it off. That's definitely, you know, a good feeling.
Yeah.
And obviously it was fun to do because I knew a lot of old AF songs. So just being around them. And, you know, even songs, these are songs, some of them were never made it to United Blood. Maybe made it to their set, maybe not, but like they were floating around old, you know, and so we just kind of like brought them back to life. And
it's like a proof of concept B-side record or something.
It's such an interesting.
And that's you on the cover.
That's me on the cover, And so we just went with it, and it was just like we took a picture, and like it all just happened sort of organically and fast, and just like the songs were already there, so there was no writing really necessary, and the recording was like a 2-track live at Don Fury's, so it was nothing super technical or like no like 50 passes on vocals to get like a take. Is just like, go, sing
you ripped
now.
it live straight up.
I ripped it live,
Now, obviously, you're very young on this recording.
Yeah.
So you sound young.
For sure.
You sound young.
Yeah.
You eventually, and we'll get there, but you eventually have a very distinct voice. You know, you have your style, your voice. Were you trying to do that voice, but you were young, so you were just going for it? Okay.
I was just yelling. That's all. That's what I knew how to do. I was like, okay, yell and make sure that you don't fumble the words.
Perfect.
And you didn't. Pardon this interruption. We promise it's important. You know we don't want to interrupt this episode with one of the greats of all time. But this episode was brought to you by two very important entities that we got to talk to you about real quick. Give us a minute. Maybe 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. Firstly, this episode is brought to you by the great Dunnable Guitars. The guitars and basses for heavy music in general. Used by not only me, but many of your favorite artists. Sang with Sugabot, Power Trip, Primitive Man, Mongrel, way more.
Dunnable offers options for anybody who wants to do anything with a guitar, particularly tune low and play slow. You know what I mean? They got 25.5-inch scale. They got baritones, bass sixes, 7 strings, all the things you might want to play low and heavy.
That's right. And you can either find or build your dream guitar in the Dunnable USA Custom Shop, or check out a more affordable, essential Dunnable DE.
Ooh. Yeah,
whether you're in C sharp like me or drop A like Crowbar, Dunnable is truly the heavy instrument of your dreams.
That's right.
Be on the lookout with your local Dunnable dealer for the upcoming Cryptid series. You know we love our Cryptids. These are upgraded USA Dunnables that are only available from Dunnable dealers. Check them out. Isn't that insane?
That's crazy.
But right now, you can head over to Dunnable Guitars, use code HardLore, and get 15% off a guitar.
15% off a guitar.
Quit fucking around, okay? While the world goes to shit and everything is $1 billion, these beautiful guitars somehow become more affordable thanks to Dunable and thanks to us. Check it out right now. Wow. This episode is also brought to you by the great Mills Vintage. The best selection in the world, and you can quote me, of vintage hardcore, metal, and punk t-shirts. Every day I'm rocking something from Mills or something I want to sell to Mills because you can do that. You can go see him, trade him your stuff, sell him your stuff. He'll sell it back to me. Hopefully he sells it back to you before I have to get it. It's a vicious cycle, but it's a beautiful cycle nonetheless.
That's right. You can visit both locations of Varsity and Mills in, would you call it Los Angeles?
Oh, yeah.
And New York City. Go in there. See what they got. Go to the website. See what they got. See what he's had before. Consider what you got. You might be able to trade. You might be able to sell. You can reel. You can deal.
He also just got back from Tokyo, so I'm sure he's coming back with some crazy heat. So go to millsvintageusa.com right now. Use code HardLore. You're going to get 10% off probably the coolest shirt you've ever seen in your life, the one you've been looking for your entire life. There's Madball shirts in there right now. Just pick it up. Use code HardLore, get 10% off, and enjoy this episode. Ball of Destruction.
Yeah.
8 songs, 5 minutes, 48 seconds.
That long.
Yeah. One of the greatest hardcore 7-inches of all time.
Oh.
To this day.
Thank you.
And you're a literal child on it. Any fond memories of the actual recording process? Were you there when they did the music as well?
Oh, yeah. We all did it in the same room.
It was live.
It was live.
Just straight up.
Yeah, it was live. It was like, it was a lot of fond memories because it happened down the block from Vinnie's house. So, you know, Don Fury Studios was on Spring.
In the cellar, right?
Yeah. Stomp on the thing.
in the basement, yeah. It was on Spring, I guess, and like right in that area, like right in Vinnie's neighborhood, which you guys have been to. And I mean, you know, we'd go get sandwiches at Parisi's, like, you know, the neighborhood stuff. So we were in the neighborhood, so it was very comfortable. And then like went down, recorded. Backups were done by I think like Mark Super Touch and which is a band that, like, you know, back, you know, you guys know Super Touch, you guys know your stuff. Craig,
Of course.
did backups. I think that was it. I think it was like 2 people and then like maybe some of the other guys, but like, yeah, it was just fun. It was just like fun, quick. We hit it pretty quick. Like we like didn't take too long. Like we nailed it.
And like, was it just a feeling of like, oh, that's going to be cool?
Yeah,
like
it was awesome. I mean, I was like, oh man, I'm going to actually be on like a recording. Like,
yeah.
This is wild.
When you're 12.
You know, I mean, it's not real until you get the thing.
Yeah. And the logo.
Idea.
It's orange, I think, on the original one. Right?
Yeah.
Where did that, who made it? Where did that come from?
I can't remember.
Because it's as iconic as any other.
Yeah.
One of the greatest.
I can't remember where we got that font. Yeah, man, I have to ask my brother.
I didn't know.
You're going to have to ask my brother.
We'll ask your brother.
Yeah, we'll ask him.
Because
I didn't know if it was a sports font or like just.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it's clearly hand-drawn. It looks hand-drawn.
Yeah.
It just worked, you know, like when we were coming up, you know, I mean, the picture was taken by Amy, who was mother of Roger's first child.
Oh, wow.
They were never married, but they were together a long time. She was in a band called Nausea.
Oh
hell
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So she was a photographer, like on the side, like, you know, so like she did that picture, and I think all the pictures on there, maybe hers, but man, that is such a good question about the logo.
Oh, it's all good. Maybe
because that logo is still important to us.
It's the one.
That's our logo.
Yeah, for real. But we do know that Steve Huey did the iconic Madball itself.
Yeah. The version that's closest to what it is, for sure.
Sure.
For sure.
Is that something you were ever told to stop using legally because of the toy?
No.
Okay.
No.
So free reign on the Madball. That guy, he can be on anything.
Not that I can remember. Because
it seems like
I feel like I would remember something like that if it was like a massive thing where it was like, oh, don't do that.
Yeah.
I think it was just different enough where like, and maybe it's
good for the toy.
Maybe they didn't care enough, you know.
True.
So it was like, some hardcore band. Like,
Did you ever have one?
I wish.
I never had one.
Yeah, no.
So maybe
I feel like I did.
Did you?
I think I did after the fact.
I
think I grabbed a couple after the fact, but like, so I wasn't into them like, before. But yeah, the logo, man, I'm gonna have to really.
It's a great. That's
maybe
one of the best.
Howie has something to do with that as well. Howie Abrams, because that record went to In Effect. Shirt I passed on to you guys, and I'm sure they had something to do with helping with the layout and stuff. Howie Abrams. I have to mention him because he was an A&R at In Effect, and he was my brother's go-to guy, and he was the one that Roger presented Ball of Destruction to him. Like, hey, I got this cool thing that we recorded. What do you think? And In Effect was this new label under Relativity or under something. They were some umbrella label under something bigger. They were like, here's this crazy thing with my little brother, and Howie absolutely loved it. Wow. He could have said, this is a piece of shit. And excuse my language.
No, you say whatever you want.
Cock.
Yeah.
But he was like all about it. And he went on to sign us to Roadrunner as well.
Okay. There we go.
So I gotta mention Howie because historically speaking, he's very, very instrumental in Madball.
Team Madball.
And the reason I mention him is that he would probably have a good idea of like how we came up with that font, with that logo, because he was part of the In Effect squad that put together the Ball of Destruction thing. I think the lettering though is mine. I'm pretty sure it's my scribble.
The Ball of Destruction.
Okay, that's cool.
What is
and
that?
that's it on a lot of records. Set It Off as me.
Yeah.
A lot of times where you see like the it written out.
Droppin' Many Suckers,
that Droppin Many Suckers is me. Yeah. So yeah, like, which is a fun fact.
That's awesome.
That's a great fact.
I had no idea. Ball of Destruction. Did that mean something? Did it sound cool?
I think it came out of Vinnie's mind or something. I don't know. It's another one of those like Vinnie creations, maybe Vinnie and Roger. It was like, what do we call it? Madball. Okay, we had the name of the band because it's my nickname. Okay, we got the band. What do we call the record? And I think probably Vinnie was like, Ball of Destruction. And it was like, yep. Makes complete sense.
Yeah.
So I'm realizing
that's me.
The nickname came before the band.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
That just dawned on me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He is Madball.
He is Madball.
Yeah, that's why
the band also
that's why when you asked me that question about can the band exist without the name, I said, well, I mean, technically it can, but I am Madball.
It would be like Danzig kicking out Danzig.
Yeah. Like, I mean, yeah.
So Ball of Destruction has multiple songs on it that you're still playing 40 years later.
Yes, sir.
Pretty unbelievable.
Dope.
Yeah.
Who else can say you and the Rolling Stones?
Metallica.
And Agnostic Front.
Yeah. I mean,
I
guess they're timeless.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah. I mean, they're ridiculous, but timeless.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of you saying hardcore lives on this record.
Yeah.
It was like almost prophetic in a way, because hardcore in general is so young that there's almost no need to declare that it lives. But you putting that message out there that early as just like a mantra almost ensures that it always would. Like you're at 12 years old going, hardcore this new thing currently lives.
Yeah.
And now you have a thing to say to keep it alive forever.
Yeah.
And then it's now.
I don't know. Like, I mean, that was definitely like an ad lib on my part.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think anyone told me to say that. I just like yelled it out.
Wow.
And I mean, I still use it as a hashtag.
Yeah, it's an album title.
Just to kind of like, I don't know. It's like, our scene's always like fighting to be heard, fighting to be noticed. So, it was one of those kind of statements. And I still feel like that today. It's like, you have all this, all this stuff that was influenced by hardcore in the music world. So, and it's still like, some people don't know where it came from. Kind of, so like, I don't know, that sentiment, that feeling, that like underdog kind of feeling has always been there from jump.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like no one knew my brother's band. Like I couldn't tell people like, I was hanging out with Agnostic Front. Who?
Yeah. What's that?
What's that?
Which is not the case anymore.
What's that?
Yeah.
Not even who's that?
Yeah.
Like, what is that? What's that name? That's a weird name. Like, so yeah, it's always like, hardcore lives, rooting for the culture.
You talked about It's My Life earlier. I think that and Crucified are the songs that are like permanently coursing through both bands and like being reused. Like the part you use Crucified, and the breakdown of Crucified is in like 3 different records or something.
Oh, yeah.
It's everywhere.
It's kind of bolt thrower-esque.
Yeah, it is.
We used to do it live. We used to do a portion of it live.
We're going to get there.
Yeah,
We're going to get to one.
We'll get there.
An Iron Cross cover.
It is.
Right?
Yep.
And yeah, I remember getting into Madball. I'm sure it was Set It Off, the first thing I found, which obviously we're going to get there too. But I remember thinking like, they do this part a lot. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Not understanding that's like, that's kind of the point. Like, it's fully aware of it. I agree. That's always stuck with me.
It's cool. Whose idea was that for, I guess, just like permanently adopting Crucified as the whole camp's anthem?
Well, we kind of stopped it, especially when AF came back into the fold. But for us, we always did little things as an homage to AF, like when we started playing, because you have to remember that when Madball actually became an actual band, not just a novelty of like, hey, here's this cool 7-inch with this little kid, cool. It was that. Nothing wrong with that. It was awesome, something I'm extremely proud of. But we weren't like actively touring and stuff. You know, that didn't come until like the early 90s. And really until after Droppin Many Suckers, which I'm sure we're going to talk about. But
we're there. We're almost there.
Just about.
Yeah. But no, I'm not rushing. But what were we saying? So yeah, there was always like
AF is a part of the band.
AF's a part of our lineage, whether you like, whether we like it or not. It's AF's that's our lineage. Yeah. That's where we were born out of that, family, and like we were always proud of that.
Sure.
It wasn't like I was trying to like, I need my own space, my own identity. Yeah. I don't want to be like, people get, go that route too, where it's like, I think we eventually did that organically anyway, just because I have a different personality than my brother. I have a different things to say. I have, like my own, I'm my own person. So that happened organically. And even stylistically, we're very different from AF.
Big time.
But back then, we wanted to keep AF's name kind of like the Hardcore Lives thing. It's like, we felt like, oh man, where's hardcore going? I think it might fade out
already.
Already. And so AF decides to take a break, and so we would incorporate AF things into our set. We always covered Friend or Foe. We did parts of Crucified, like we were talking about. There was always AF in the mix, and my band was the last lineup, the last Agnostic front lineup. So it just naturally made sense to always keep it in the family. But we stopped doing Friend or Foe. We stopped doing Crucified. A lot of AF related stuff when they came.
It's
back.
My Life kind of became yours.
It's ours.
Yeah, that's yours.
Sorry, AF. Yeah. And sorry, Animals too, by the way. It's ours. Thanks. Thank you very much.
We are two guys who love to know stuff. We love we love the nod.
Oh, yeah.
We love the references.
Cheers.
So knowing that's not like, I don't know, let's play an AF song.
No.
It's like, no, we're gonna play the anthem, like you called it, is very, very
Yeah, that was purposeful. No, we wanted to keep, if we were gonna be the next generation coming, and the flag or the baton was handed to us, that we were gonna make sure that we represented them in some way.
Do you feel as though you're like a second generation punk hardcore kid?
I feel like I'm a third generation.
Interesting.
But
because there's a group of 4, and then like your brother and Vinnie, and then you.
They're first, for sure, pioneers. My brother and them always say that I was grandfathered into the first generation, just because I was there. I was present.
You were there.
So
that's proof.
One could argue that I'm grandfathered into the first generation. Second gen to me is like Sick of It All, Killing Time, that. I don't know how you guys
No,
you nailed it.
evaluate that. Yeah. That's just me, which is monumental stuff. And then I think we came after that, obviously. Like even though Ball of Destruction existed at the same time that Brightside existed, it was not like a serious, like it was serious, but not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like a thing, but it was not an active,
Sure.
Sunday matinee band or like touring band. That came later.
So as Ball of Destruction is happening,
they were doing Liberty and Justice. Yeah, I was there, and I know that very well because I was there while they recorded Liberty and Justice.
wow.
I went up to Ithaca, New York, with my brother.
And were you when you
Played the gong, by the way.
How did you?
Did you?
did?
Yeah.
Wow.
HardLore.
When you
Pretty
heard
nasty gong
the
player.
kind of sonic departure of Cause for Alarm, were you into that as a fan of the band?
It was different, for sure, but I could appreciate some of the elements of it. I didn't hate it. I was big Victim in Pain guy.
That's the
More
best.
so than United Blood. Victim in Pain still, when I hear the first chord, makes my hair, the hairs on my arms stand up, still to this day. And so that was like, United Blood's great, but Victim in Pain was like, the record.
I mean, that's the New York hardcore LP.
That's the New York hardcore.
Yeah.
And obviously this is biased because, that's my family and I came up with those guys in that camp directly. So it's a very biased statement, but
We can validate though, as
well,
outsiders.
And I feel like a lot of people, especially New York people, but even East Coast or even some West Coast people, I mean, like I feel like a lot of people would like back me on that.
They
one.
won. We held a tournament for
did
this
you?
very
for that.
thing.
And they won.
They
Oh,
won.
Thank God. So Cause for Alarm's great though.
Yeah.
Like I have no issues with Cause for Alarm. Like production's a little weird to me. My brother's voice was a departure from what I was
That
used
was
to.
where it kind of became.
That kind of
was the
freaked
voice.
That kind of freaked me out a little bit. I was like, at first, I was like, what happened with the Victim in Pain voice? But only
As you've seen, it just kind of happens.
it happens, man. It happens, and there's some great songs on Cause for Alarm.
Yeah,
and
it
it definitely influenced a lot of people.
Oh yeah,
That record.
ourselves included.
I don't know, maybe more people than Victim in Pain in a way, because
think
it was
it's possible,
crossing
'cause the
over to
crossover
another.
Got
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
possible.
Something that I think we have to talk about, just to talk about the full lineage of Madball, the lyrics, the album titles, the merch, is DMS. When did that become kind of a central part of the Madball story in your life?
DMS.
Yeah.
Well, it predates me
Right.
being a part of it.
Sure.
But when I permanently moved to New York as a young guy, 16 years old, I linked up with a group of guys that were like in my age range, because prior to that, I was always with older dudes. I was always with Stigma and Roger, and even like Will and Matt. They're not all like crazy older than me, but they're still older guys.
Sure.
Like, Will was like always like a big brother to me. Like Will had no shame about like bringing me out and hanging with me, and like he was super cool. Like for being like a guy who was like, out on the town and like a little older, like, I don't know about like bringing this little 12-year-old, 11, 10, whatever, I've known Will since I'm 9, 10 years old, whatever. He never made me feel like that. He was always cool about bringing me around. So Will, Maddie, those guys are my friends. They're closer in age to me than Roger. But I didn't have like a group that were my friends. My own friends.
Sure, yeah.
Not just Roger's friends that I met through him or whatever. And then like that's when I started meeting like Toby, H2O. And like he became my friend outside of that circle. Even though, he knew AF, he was with Sick of It All's camp, but like we just kind of hit it off on our own. And then like he introduced me to Ezak, and then I met Ezak, and then Ezak introduced me to Hoya, and then Narc, and then those became my boys. They became my friends. They were still maybe a little bit older than me, but still like close enough in age where like, and there were a lot of commonalities. Like we all liked hip hop. Fashion wise, we all kind of dressed a little bit like urban or thuggish, but still we were hardcore kids.
Yeah.
And we all had that in common. Like we'd be wearing Carhartt or whatever was stylish at the time. but we were hardcore kids.
Sure.
And so there were a lot of things that we had in common. Obviously, the main thread of it was hardcore, because we did meet essentially through that vehicle. But like that was pretty much it. So I organically like became friends with these group of people, and then they just so happened to be a part of this family of sorts, this brotherhood of sorts, and I naturally fit in.
Sure.
I naturally fit in. I always had that kind of thing anyways. Like even prior to that, I had a group of friends in Florida, and we had like a crew. It was completely unrelated to hardcore. It was like more like street level stuff, but like nothing to do with hardcore. But we had our own crew, and we had letters, and we, so I don't know. I was always kind of like gravitated towards like the, brotherhood thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then we found that it with each other in like through the music, and then through just the friendship, and then like hanging out. Like, then it became a thing where like we would all hang out, meet, in the LES or meet on Avenue A, St. Mark's, and like we'd meet there like all the time and hang and get to know each other and get into stuff. Good and bad.
Yeah, sure. So it was just a, hey, you're in the family thing type thing.
Yeah. I mean, it eventually grew and grew and whatever. And that's a whole other thing.
But it's such
yeah,
a big,
I was accepted into the family very early on, and there weren't a lot of us at that time, and it was also going through a transitional period because there was a regime or a generation prior to that, and a lot of weird stuff happened, and guys went here, there, everywhere. Because like I said, the crew itself predates me by a little bit. I mean, still, now, I mean, being a part of that since I was 16, since 92 or whatever, it's a long time.
Yeah.
But it existed a few years before me. And, but it was splintered. It was kind of like, two factions, and one became obsolete. And so, yeah. I naturally fell into that extended family, and the rest is like,
The rest is
then
a
it
big
became
part of the
kind
band.
of part of Madball too,
100%.
because
It
I
goes-
dropping many suckers.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It goes on to influence the name of a couple records.
We're almost there. We're almost there.
It's your it's a fam.
It's family.
It's the family.
I got you.
It's the family.
It's just so, like Colin was saying, so kind of integral with the identity of the band that
It
would
has
feel
become
odd.
so, yeah.
It would feel odd to just not even.
No, I'm glad you brought it up, and I had no issues at all with that. I mean, it really, I never considered it a gang or anything like that. It's I mean, we dealt with a lot throughout the years. We had our share of trouble from past stuff that, we were a part of, but like, I never wanted to like, just calling it a gang to me sort of diminishes what it meant to me or what it means for some of us.
Yeah,
it's like family more than just like, hey, just some random crew.
Yeah.
Anyone can come up, look at the alphabet, grab a few letters, and come up with a crew.
It's like straight edge, You can be drug free, but you can't be straight edge if you're not part of the culture.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, and exactly, and it's an important, it's definitely became something important to us, especially being a young guy. I'm trying to, find myself, trying to figure things out. I'm in this big city. Sure, I have big brothers and sisters that are looking out for me here and there.
But you need yours.
But I'm trying to find my own way.
Yeah.
And my brother told me very early on when I moved in with him, he's like, I can't afford to support you. I vouch for you to come here and live with me, but we're living in a squat. I'm not like, he's not Mick Jagger, like we're not, like no one's rich.
Yeah.
He's like, you're gonna have to make your way. And he instilled a good work ethic in me because I got a job like right after he said that. And then, I always had a job for years.
What was that first job?
I worked at San Loco, a taco place. A Mexican
good food?
joint. Very.
Yeah.
Anyone
Still
that
there?
lived in that, yeah, I believe so. They ended up opening like 3 or 4 of them. Like
Let's go.
blew up.
All right.
But my brother knew the owner, and Daryl, great guy. and I needed a job. And so like I like went in there and like I worked the cash register. Like I like that was my first job ever. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was wild. It was open till 4 a.m. and it was on like right off of St. Mark's on like 1st or 2nd. So like
Chaos.
you saw the wildest stuff.
Yeah.
You know, bums coming in bleeding.
The
One time
Wild
a guy
East.
came in bleeding and I just left. I was like, don't get that on me, bro. I went out and looked for like a big stick. Like I just wanted distance. I was like, I'm gonna clunk this guy with this stick. And it didn't happen. I mean, he ended up, we ended up getting him out of there. But like you'd see the wildest stuff at like 2, 3, 4 in the city.
Yeah.
Drunk idiots. I mean, you name it. So it was a learning experience to say the least, that job.
But a good
But I had-
lesson
yeah, good lesson.
to stay like, yeah, you got to work. It's not a free ride
Yeah.
in any sort.
Yeah, and the hardcore stuff certainly wasn't going to pay the bills.
Right.
And that came later anyway. Like I had the job before we were actively doing shows and stuff. So yeah, no, my brother told me early on, like, you're going to have to, like, man up.
Saying that
It's not a free ride.
saying that you were living in a squat and what was his partner's name from Nausea?
Amy.
Yeah. Took that picture. It reminded me of one of my favorite pictures of your brother, where he's holding like a submachine gun. You know
Oh,
the
yeah,
picture
yeah,
I'm talking
yeah.
about?
Oh,
And
yeah, I
but
remember that.
It's in the squat. Like that's like the caption is always like in where they lived, and I
Yeah.
just like you said that, and I was looking
yeah.
at that photo.
Oh,
in my
yeah.
mind.
I mean, you're living in like a kind of wild place, like A, B, C, you're in like the alphabet. Alphabet City's no joke.
Right.
If you know anything about like, that area of New York, especially when you get to Avenue D, the projects down there. And Avenue D is a whole other thing. You don't really go to Avenue D unless you know people or like, yeah. It can get crazy down that way.
There's a lot going on.
When did that change?
It's different now. I think D is still kind of like,
Really?
you better be careful. But like, gentrification and like New York in general has started to morph into like a safer place, which is not necessarily a bad thing, I guess.
But an expensive place. Much
But
more
an expensive
place.
thing for sure. I mean, I saw it a lot. It was already happening, I think, in the 80s, but even when I moved there in the 90s, very early 90s, I saw it. I saw it happening.
Was that Giuliani? Is that who like?
This was pre-Giuliani, so I
pre-Giuliani.
think when I moved there, was it Koch?
But there was a big
Dinkins?
like
I don't know. Like I forget who was the mayor, but it was pre-Giuliani. But then Giuliani came in
cleaned up.
and cleaned up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been curious, just from the other perspective, what were your thoughts on the Krishna stuff happening in hardcore early on and throughout the 90s?
Nothing.
It was such a big thing.
Yeah, it was a thing. Yeah.
It's a mystery
Yeah.
to us.
I mean, like I respect like anyone's like spiritual connections or like religion or whatever. Like I'm cool with that. Like I mean, like like I'm always like, hey, you do you, man. If you feel like that's your thing, I never had an issue with it. I mean, I thought, yeah, it was definitely a big part of the scene. Like, you had that faction. It's nothing that
And they had some good
I was
bands.
attracted to
Yeah, sure, yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of guys that were like, into that whole scene and like, yeah, to each his own,
So you just kind of saw it from afar, like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, this is an interesting aspect to this whole hardcore thing.
really is.
But you have so many different things,
Exactly.
like you had like the street element, which was us.
Yeah.
Like I said, we were like these thuggish kind of, kids that loved hip hop, but also were hardcore kids. So like you have that element, right? And then you have like Krishna, and then you have straight edge, and you had like just the old school, the elders who were just like, were probably looking at everyone like, what's going on?
guys
here
are
with
all
this?
crazy.
What's happening with this?
right.
Were you ever straight edge?
No,
Nice.
no. Always respected it though. I always had friends that were, like I said, I was very close with Toby.
Yeah.
For a lot of years, he's still my friend, but and he was always straight edge, always. And there were always a couple of guys like that hung out with us, and like they just didn't drink, didn't get into that kind of stuff. They would mix it up with us if they needed to, but like they didn't drink, they didn't do drugs.
Sure.
And I totally respect that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I was like, good man, good for you.
It's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
No, it's yeah. I mean, I encourage that. I want that for my kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
As
You
do
know,
we.
like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's what my dad
enjoy
said.
my,
Yeah,
I
as
enjoy
do
my
our
couple of
parents,
drinks.
yeah.
I'm not a big, I'm not into drugs. Like, I'm not a drug guy. Like, I just enjoy my sip on a little something here and there. But
you
like,
go.
yeah, I encourage it. It's a good
Matt
lifestyle.
Henderson
Okay.
enters the band.
Okay.
And is such a big part of what would become the Madball sound.
New York sound.
The New York.
There-
Well
well
said,
said.
Freddie. How does he get involved, and when do you guys start putting together the first fully original Madball material?
He joined AF. People are gonna be like, "Is this an interview about Agnostic Front? Or is it
Well,
about
there-
Madball?"
this
But
is
you
one-
have to
it's a
talk about
family.
AF
Yeah,
if
of
we
course.
know
Yeah.
without.
And they're dying
I'm
to
sure
hear
there'll
it.
be time enough for Madball anyway.
Yeah, we're getting
there. Again, there's such a direct connection and lineage that it has to be, talked about. But Matt joined AF right before One Voice, which I think is, after Victim in Pain, a very important Agnostic Front record.
Yeah.
Where was he? Who found him?
Roger.
He just found him?
Yeah. I think Blind Approach, Maddie's band, played a show at AF. Maybe in New York, Minneapolis. It could be both. It could be both. And Roger's a good scout for talent. I gotta say, I gotta give him that. He's a nut. He's a mad scientist, but he's a good scout for stuff. Because he recruited Will Shepler, who was also a very important drummer to, at least for me. Again, biased because Will's my brother, but very important drummer for New York hardcore, I think. I mean, if you ever hear Anthem, that beginning part, that's Will. So he recruited Will, he recruited Matt, and Craig, and Vinnie recruited him. But
So really, Vinny is the
Vinny's
scout of
the
all
OG. Yeah,
scouts.
Vinny's got it all.
Puppet
Vinny's the
D1.
godfather. That's it. Vinny wins. But yeah, he saw something in him, and then called him up, and I'll let him. If you ever interview him, I'll let him tell his own story better than I could tell it. But that's how Matt was in the mix, because AF was sort of like, are we going to continue? Are we not going to do this anymore? And then we decided to do the second Madball 7-inch. I was at this point living in New York, living on 10th Street, squat, between B and C. Shout out to the 10th Street squat. We decided to do Droppin Many Suckers. It was just kind of like, well, you're here, you're living here. Remember that Madball thing? And my nickname is still Madball. I mean, literally, all my homies that I talked about called me Madball. Before the band was established, really. Like Toby, Isaac, all these guys called me Madball. That was like how I was introduced to people. This is Madball. What's up, man? How you doing? So, like, yeah. So, well, we might as well try something else. Roger had some music. Matty Henderson had a couple riffs that were not AF, not for AF. And it just started compiling these songs at the 10th Street Squat in that, like just getting together. Roger had a big booklet of lyrics. This is before I even knew how to write lyrics. And just started going through the lyrics, and it's like, oh, this could be a song. And then Droppin Many Suckers came together.
So Roger's.
It was Roger and Matty. I gotta attribute that music to them.
Wow.
And even lyrically to them. Yeah. I mean, like, maybe some of the aesthetics I could give myself a little credit for.
Sure.
And maybe editing a little bit, because there was some like stuff there where it was like, my brother was writing goofy lyrics and like purposefully, like a little like on top, on the nose, like a little like on purpose. And so I was like, maybe change that word there, but I didn't really know song structures, lyric writing. I didn't know that too well at that time.
It's coming soon.
So that was where Matty came in.
Ball of Destruction, 89.
Yeah.
Which came out, I guess you would have been like 13, 14
By
when
that
it
time.
came out.
By that time.
This is 92.
Yep.
Big vocal change.
Yeah.
You grew up literally in between these two records.
Puberty happened.
Yeah,
it
helps.
happened.
It helps a lot.
This is where I think you sound like you, where Madball sounds like Madball. You know what I mean? Because we
Starting
have,
for sure, yeah.
and we have like full-fledged Madball classics, what I would consider classics. Spit on Your Grave, Never Had It, Cross Your Face. These are songs that are like, the second they start, you know exactly, like, oh, I know this song, you know what I mean?
You can hear them this year, wherever Madball's on tour,
awesome.
I'm sure.
How was the reception?
Hardcore was in a weird place. And that's a great question because I think a lot of people think because we sort of were handed the baton and endorsed and sort of co-signed by the OGs, that it was automatically going to pop off for Madball. And that wasn't really the case.
You kind of had something to prove. Because
We had to prove ourselves. Yeah. So I wish it were a little easier, but it wasn't that easy. And like the timing of it was weird because like I said, hardcore right at 92 was like having a dip, a downward, trajectory. And like AF was thinking about what they're gonna do. My brother's thinking about a whole other career, and like there's all this other stuff happening. So it wasn't probably wasn't the best time to start a hardcore band. We did have the cosign of the OGs, and we did have the players.
Yeah.
I had a hell of a squad.
You really did.
By default, I had a great squad. I had Will and Maddie and Vinnie, Vinnie's personality, everyone, I had a hell of a squad. And Roger was playing bass at that time. So yeah, it wasn't easy. It was received better in Europe.
Already?
For sure.
Right away?
Already, but
Wow.
still not what you would think. Still not what you would think.
You're right. Hardcore is in such an interesting place because
Very.
this is like the Victory Records era starting. Earth Crisis, Integrity.
Just pre it.
Yeah, right.
Just
Like this
pre
is that.
demos.
The 90s,
Yeah.
what the 90s would become is starting to happen. And like Madball is the like continuation of the 80s.
Yeah.
And like the spirit of hardcore.
Yeah, you don't have like Crown of Thorns, 25, VOD, like may exist in some form. Not really though. I think they're this is pre them becoming bands.
Yeah.
But then soon after they pop onto the scene.
It's like who knows what would have happened had Droppin Many Suckers specifically not come out,
Yeah, I don't. I really. Yeah. Who knows is right, man. I mean, we liked what we put together.
Yeah.
Like we thought it was cool. Like even though like I was a little bit like some of the lyrics were like, it's not what I would have written, but I don't know how to write. So
Sure.
Yeah, right.
hey,
Yeah, I was going to ask.
So on the cover
so
art, you see here is Freddy and 3 guys who aren't in the band.
Is that true?
Yeah.
that's a fact. That's a fact.
Just guys.
Holy
That's a
shit.
fact.
And I think that's another secret testament to just you being Madball, which is interesting. Who are these guys and who took this photo?
Well, that's Hoya, right there,
Oh,
Right
so-
here?
pre Madball. He was just my homie at the
Okay.
time.
Okay.
That's Ezak. Oh, and that's Narc
Wow.
in the back.
That's HardLore.
And,
What we're talking about.
I think there's a back picture of us as well, or
It might be in the
or
insert.
inside maybe.
Let's see.
If
Check
you
it out.
look at it, if there's another picture of us walking down the street, I'll give you another piece of lore. Oh no, there's not. Maybe not. Well, there's another.
Where you can tell.
Surprised it's not on that. That should have been a gatefold. We gotta figure that out.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that
Third
later.
press.
Who took the picture? You remember?
Amy.
Amy took it?
Okay,
Yeah,
wow.
So fucking
Yeah,
cool
Amy,
that
yeah.
she's this through
Yeah, because
thread.
she's still in the mix.
Yeah.
Like I lived with Roger and Amy in the squat. So, and then eventually I had my own spot in there. I got I was able to like acquire a place.
How does that work in a squat?
It's pretty wild style.
Do you just take
Well,
or you
not
diplomacy?
really. You get to know the community, and then you work your way in, and then it was a lot of There were families in there. It wasn't like, it was cool. But this one in particular that I ended up in, we did kind of sort of take it, but it was because someone had taken it from a good person.
Oh, okay.
So we usurped it back.
Robin
Okay.
Hood, you know?
Yeah, we Robin Hood that one. Robin Hood that one. So
The framing Amy
yeah.
did on that picture.
She's good.
It's fucking awesome.
It's good. Yeah.
It's such a good picture.
I think it still works.
It still works.
Absolutely.
So that's the squat?
That was a big, empty, like, lot next to the squat.
Okay.
So the building that I live in is attached to that picture right
Gotcha.
there. And there were these big gates. And someone owned that lot and would randomly park their cars there or do whatever with that lot. But we somehow got in there, crept in there or something, and then took that picture. And Amy, yeah, she caught a good angle. She did do that. And the street angle, which I don't know why it's not there.
Third press.
The reason I bring that up is because you mentioned Steve Huey before. Steve Huey is in the street shot.
Awesome.
So, and Narc, my buddy Narc, who's one of my very close friends, is Steve Huey's brother, his younger brother. He's more my age. Steve's a little older. But Steve was in the street shot. So if you ever see the original, it's me and those same guys, and there's an additional guy. That's Steve Huey.
Awesome. Wow. I love it.
Yeah.
So Ball of Destruction, one of the greatest hardcore 7-inches of all time. Droppin Many Suckers, one of the greatest hardcore 7-inches of all time.
You're too kind.
No. It's real. Don Fury, did he do
He
Droppin'
did
Many
this one
Suckers?
as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about working with Don.
He's a funny guy, man. He's an interesting dude, man. Yeah, he was, he did a lot of, say what you want about him, but he did a lot of classic New York hardcore stuff, man. Like his name is like very important to the culture. Yeah, it was kind of similar to the first one. We kind of just went in there and like banged it out. Like we had these songs, ran through them. I think we went to like Gray Area or whatever studio we went to and like rehearsed the stuff. And I figured out the cadence of like how I was gonna do it. I will say that I think I was like a little bit self-conscious about the fact that the first one I was a little kid and sounded like a little kid. Mm-hmm. So I think I purposely tried to sound older.
Sure. Compensate a little.
On Droppin Many Suckers. Yeah. I did a little, like I kind of like, I mean, it's my voice, it's my tone. There's no effects on it. It's very, basic recording, but I did sort of try to like bring out this heaviness to try to, because I still had that complex of like, oh, I'm a kid, so I need to sound like a man.
And there is that feeling when you're a kid of like, I can't wait to be grown and do whatever I want and do this, take this around the world. And then you look back and you're like, man, I really wish I just appreciated being a kid at that time.
Exactly. When you get to this stage, then you're like, yeah, it was cool being a kid. But yeah, I did a little bit of that on that record, but same kind of deal. Recording was like quick and yeah, it was fun. This time different players for backups and different guys showing up at the studio. Now we're in the early 90s, so but Don Fury's, the studio itself didn't change much.
Okay.
It didn't change.
The sound did.
The sound did.
Sounds
great.
great.
I agree. The sound got a little better.
Sounds great.
It also has, there's some B-sides and unreleased stuff that was on like the Triple B re-release with Ready to Fight is on it.
So
I think Friend or Foe is on it. I think.
Yeah, those are all. Yeah,
there's a few
we
other.
used to do our version of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
what was this? Was the session more than the 6 songs or something that are on the?
Probably. We probably recorded a few more and then narrowed it down to the ones that ended up on there. But it wasn't like this big, like, hey, Madball, like it wasn't like this big announcement went out in New York, like, here's this new band, like it.
Ticker tape.
Like I can remember our first show, it was like early on, it was like bad. Like we played this show in NYU and it was like maybe 50 people there.
Really?
And it was like, wow, this is gonna be rough. Wow. Like we did not inherit AF's fan base.
Interesting.
Like initially.
Sure.
I think eventually we started to get some of those guys, like when they took note, some of the older school took notice. Mm-hmm. That started happening. When like Wetlands came in and Coney Island and CB still was in the mix. And the shows started to come back up. Then people started to take notice of us. Okay. But those first shows right after we dropped that were rough.
Did you tour around the country on this?
No. We went to South America.
Okay.
Randomly got invited to go to Buenos Aires.
How does that happen in 1992?
I don't even remember. Like, someone called us, like, hey, you know, they love you out here. I'm like, what? Like, yeah. Like, who? What? And I thought it was cool because I'm, you know, that's my ethnicity. You know, like, I'm Latin. Like, so I'm like, oh, wow. Like, in South America, really? And so somehow someone got us in touch with someone, and, like, they were like, they were into Droppin Many Suckers out there.
How does that even get there? You know?
I don't know. Somebody came to New York and, like, found it and, like, brought it out there. And so we did a version out there where, like, I did an interview with someone in Argentina, and I'm speaking in Spanish, and they put it on, like, this South American version of Droppin Many Suckers.
Oh, cool.
And just, I guess, to kind of connect with the people, because no one spoke English.
That's
But
genius.
then there was a connection because, like, oh, they speak Spanish? Boom. Go to Buenos Aires, and it's like a whole other world compared to New York. Completely packed club.
Really?
People losing their minds.
In
By then,
92.
Hoya was in the band.
Yeah.
Roger was trying to figure out his life. And you can ask him what he was doing.
Yeah.
But we needed a bass player. And it wasn't like he left us hanging dry. It was just kind of like, I'm going to do my thing. We should probably get a young guy. You should probably get some young. And naturally, I look into my pool of friends.
You look at the album cover.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, Hoya plays bass. He was in a band called Demise. And,
Demise,
you know, and Demise is still active at the time. But
Yeah, they're
like
back. They're back now, which is crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Wild.
But they were active, but not, you know. And then Hoya jumped all over the opportunity. And boom. And so his first trip and my first trip overseas was Argentina. You know what? I will say there was one tour before that. Madball opened up for Agnostic Front in Europe.
On a whole tour?
So this is how you discovered that Droppin Many Suckers
Before
was-
Hoya.
Okay.
Roger on bass.
Okay.
And Droppin Many Suckers made the rounds a little bit out there, but not, we had it with us. We were like selling it
Okay.
on the road.
Yeah.
And like hustling it, you know. And people did not know Madball out there. Some did from Ball of Destruction, but it wasn't like an overwhelming reaction when we played. It was nothing like that.
But did you then watch AF in Europe and go, we need to, like, coming here consistently is something, is a goal. Like, this seems to work.
I could definitely see that there was something happening there, and it was something important. And AF obviously got a different reaction, but that was only like their second time going there. So
And they've
we
been a
went
band
with
for a
them.
while.
We went with them on their like second trip
That's crazy.
to Europe.
Was that
maybe third, maybe third.
Was that a
Probably not.
van tour in Europe? Do you remember?
It was a tour in a old 60s tour bus.
Oh, like Almost Famous, like the
Like
old ass
wild
bus.
style
Rickety?
tour bus.
Yeah.
Like someone, like I think MAD like secured this like tour bus that we would sometimes have to push to get it started. Yeah, it was wild.
Okay.
Wild days.
So downhill was good. That was,
yeah,
that was good.
that was always a good.
was good.
That was always good.
Let me ask you. Madball is headlining Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
You have 14 minutes of music at this point.
Yeah, we had Ball of Destruction and Droppin Many Suckers, yeah.
How
You got a full
long?
agnostic front set.
How
half
long
of
is the headlining set for Madball? Like, what do you? At this time,
I mean, we would add like we would add AF stuff for sure.
just add
we would
stuff,
add
just
Friend
do
or
it.
Foe, Crucified, you know, all the classics like that.
Okay.
And then all Ball of Destruction.
because to go to such an
I'm trying to
exotic-
remember if we had any Set It Off songs when we went out there, like that we were starting to write. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, we might have had like a song or two that we were starting to put together, but yeah, it was really just older material that we had to like make the most of it.
It's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and we did. We
Yeah,
made the
you
most
really
of it.
did.
We made the most of it. I mean, but yeah, that was the first time we got a reaction where we were like, "Whoa, people like us," you know? Because even in Italy, I remember we played like Rome on that tour. And I remember the whole tour was like a bum out for us. Like, oh my God, this is brutal, dude. Like, I'm out there trying to get in people's faces. I'm going out into the crowd. I'm doing everything possible to get a reaction, and it's rough. And there would be times where I can get them going. But for some reason, when we got to Italy, or I'm pretty sure it was Rome, it was like an explosion for Madball. And I was like, oh, what's this about? Like, this is different.
That's just some Italian guy.
Yeah, like
bringing
the
the record and
Italians
showing it.
liked us right off the way, the Italians, they were feeling us. And yeah, and then next time I felt that same thing was like when we went to Buenos Aires.
Unbelievable.
And that was just, they're still one of the best. That place is still one of the best places to play in the world for us.
No kidding.
Okay.
Those people have tremendous amounts of passion. Yeah. Like,
beautiful.
They do hardcore.
I gotta go.
They do hardcore.
Yeah, I've never been.
They do hardcore right.
Okay,
Yeah.
good to know. Now it's time.
It's time.
Okay.
The big one.
We have to set it off now. 1994,
You have to.
the debut Madball LP, following up following up two of the greatest hardcore EPs of all time, with one of the greatest hardcore LPs of all time. Tell me about putting this together. This is album one.
Howie Abrams. We're playing shows around town at this point with Droppin Many Suckers. And Howie maybe went to a show or heard that I was like back at it with Madball, after he had put out Ball of Destruction. And he sort of was like, are you doing this again? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, we're like kind of serious. Like, I don't know. I mean, as serious as one could be at that point.
Yeah, because you don't know.
We don't know. We don't know. Like, like the AF guys that are in my band are not even sure if they want to keep doing music at this point, because they had done a lot of touring with AF. Yeah. And, and some of it was great and fun and whatever, but like, it's not the most lucrative thing and whatever, and guys are getting older anyway. So the guys are like, yeah, I'm kind of serious. Everyone's kind of playing it by ear. Like, we're going to be as serious about this as it allows us to be. Howie comes into the picture and offers us a deal with Roadrunner.
3 albums?
Yeah, maybe 1 million. I don't know. Like, at that point, like what that contract said. Like, I still don't know what that contract says. Okay. But like, no, yeah, 3. Yeah. We were down for 3.
And that's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
Now,
that's a big deal.
At that time.
Especially being a band that's not really like, we're not popping up. Like nowadays you got bands that are like, even without an album, are like hyped and are popping. So like I can see a label approaching them and going like, yo, you're the hot thing.
Yeah.
But we weren't really the hot thing. But the scene itself was sort of weird. So it wasn't necessarily our fault either, but it was just a weird time. So, but we were going for it and playing and trying to build it back up, and other new bands were coming out, starting to pop up. And so he saw something in us again. He saw something in us again and was like, hey, I'm A&R at Roadrunner now. And at that time we just knew Roadrunner was like Sepultura, Typo Negative, like all this stuff that's like compared to our world,
foreign and
big.
Huge.
But then Biohazard and Life of Agony
Biohazard.
were simultaneous with this, so it's like this hardcore boom is happening.
Yeah, Biohazard were having a moment. Like
Big time.
Biohazard was the one band that for sure, like in the early '90s, like especially '94, were having a moment. Yeah. But they were transcending
Everything.
your regular hardcore scene.
Right.
Even if they come from the scene, and my brother was close with like Evan and like. So like we knew the Biohazard camp.
Were you in the Punishment video?
We went to all those videos. Like I wasn't that guy that was trying to get my face in the mix a lot, because there's some guys out there that were like really like feeling themselves. They really wanted to be seen, and that's fine. Yeah, that wasn't my bag, but I was there. Cool. If I'm not in the shot, it's because I'm behind the scene. Like I'll let those guys. I'll let all the let them have their moment. But I'm in like a scene where like I think it's like me and Kevin. From Bulldoze, rest in peace. And like somebody jumps on the Brooklyn
Oh,
Bridge,
yeah,
and like I
that's-
go like that because like they jump on my head. And
That's like the coolest part
the
of the
best
video.
part, yeah.
well, yeah, I'm one of the guys going, don't kill me, but but we were dancing, like we were dancing
sure.
on the bridge, we
Yeah.
were, and by dancing I mean, you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. Which we should talk about.
Let's
Yeah,
wait.
yeah.
Let's
yeah,
wait.
let's get there.
So it's like me, Kev, probably Saab minus, whoever.
Saab is-
yeah,
Yeah,
Right
he's in
there.
there.
yeah, all
he's
of
in
us,
it.
like all,
Yeah.
that whole squad.
That's awesome.
And that was, I think, the only shot I came out in, maybe. But
There is a picture with the dogs and the band.
yeah,
There's a picture, and I think you can see you. You
could
pretty
be-
much see everybody.
yeah. We were there. They invited us
It's awesome.
because, they were doing this whole style that was very like, connected to the streets. This whole
Urban
Brooklyn
discipline.
thing.
Yeah.
And they're from Brooklyn. They weren't being disingenuous. They were like legit from Brooklyn, but I think they also knew that we were like actively running around in the streets. We were like the hoodlums running around.
You
So
were
like
in the
they
urban
and,
discipline.
and we were from the scene.
Yeah.
And they know people. We all knew each other. So naturally,
Yeah.
they invite us to be a part of that whole movement.
Yes.
I don't want to say to give it credibility because they had their own credibility, but it
they-
gave it a little more.
What's interesting is like they're not DMS.
No.
The music video is DMS.
Kinda. There were a couple of crews in there
Okay.
because at the time some of the guys weren't necessarily us. They were like BYB. They had their own like Brooklyn thing, and and then some of them were old Sunset crew. Sunset Skins. Some of them became, I think they called it BYB, right? It was called Boneyard Boys or something. Yeah, I think it was BYB. It was like Saab and a couple of those guys. Eventually, over time, a lot of that morphed into us.
Sure.
We absorbed a lot of that.
Gotcha.
Just by natural order of.
Of course.
But
So are you seeing? Would you have gone? You probably would have. I'm going to ask anyway. Would you have gone with the Roadrunner thing if you didn't see Biohazard as like, hey, they?
yeah, I would have totally gone with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we had no other. We didn't have many
True.
options.
Yeah, true.
There were not a lot of people knocking on our door to like put stuff out. It just so happened that the one that did knock on our door was a big one.
Was the biggest one
The
really
biggest
in the
really
landscape.
for heavy music.
I mean,
yeah.
Rec Age put out that Droppin Many Suckers, and they were just kind of like, what did they put out? I don't know. Like, look it up. Like, Google it. I don't like did like
Yeah.
three
Check the
things.
Discogs.
Like, I don't know like what they put out. So they weren't like a Victory or
Sure.
something,
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
or whatever other labels at that time.
But Roadrunner.
But Roadrunner
Like
was a big deal,
Sepultura
and it was on the strength of Howie, and he saw us play, and he thought he was impressed by the show or something, and he was like happy to see that I had given it another go after Ball of Destruction, and yeah, at that point, like he invited us to the office, I think on Broadway at the time, and we sat with him, and he talked about like, are you guys gonna like tour, and all these questions, and we're like, well, I mean, yeah, we're willing to, like, I mean, I'm a kid, so I don't care. Yeah, I think I'm still in high school at the time or something. So I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Like, I don't care about
Now,
school.
360 deals were common at the time. Was that something you guys had?
We didn't do a 360 deal.
Okay.
Good for you.
Which to the people not in
We
the
didn't do a
know-
360 deal. What we did was a merch deal with them.
Okay.
It's 360 deal. Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Explain
No,
it to me.
360 deal is basically you're salaried by the label, and if your sales exceed that salary, you don't get that. The label does.
It's a bad deal.
It's bad.
In my personal opinion, I don't, and there's people that have taken that deal even now.
Oh yeah.
Bands that have taken that deal, and bands that are successful, that have had success, that have taken that deal. And the good thing about success, I guess, is that, and when I mean success, I mean, numbers and all that stuff. The good thing about that is that you can leverage that and renegotiate a deal. So there's always that. But we didn't do 360. We did a like 4 or 5 album thing, and part of it was you sort of weren't forced to sign to Blue Grape, but you were encouraged to sign a merch deal as well.
And you did one?
We did with Blue Grape. Blue Grape was attached to Roadrunner at the time.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And they were doing everybody's merch.
Yeah.
I have a lot of old Madball shirts.
Yeah, we have some Blue Grape ones floating around out there.
Really?
Yeah. We were with Blue Grape, yeah. Another funny thing is we were on Rush Management. Rush Management, like the hip hop Rush label.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. Also to do with Roadrunner and those relationships.
Yeah.
How
Scott
long
Koenig,
was
rest in peace of Scott. But yeah,
how
he
long
Rush.
was Madball a Blue Grape band? Because that like I
For a little bit. First, early on.
That is fascinating.
No idea.
Yeah, and I feel like it was part of the deal, and we didn't care or know any better, so we were just like, yeah, sure. Somebody cares about us. Somebody wants to put out an album.
But
Let's go.
Does the merch deal, is that just like you're still hands on in designing and producing?
Yeah,
merch?
we definitely had say, like, aesthetically speaking, for sure.
Sure.
We would be like, oh, I don't like that.
Okay.
I've always been very much like that. Always mattered to me.
Good.
You could tell. I mean,
you can
it's
tell.
some of the greatest. Like, it's still the
The Madball long sleeve.
the blueprint for hardcore merchandise. Is you go and you look up old Madball stuff and you
Thanks,
go,
man.
okay, good. I got an idea now.
I shouldn't say me. It mattered to all of us.
Yeah.
Like as a band,
The
as a
royal
collective, as a group. Yeah.
But being Madball
Yeah.
and being the guy who's obviously still
Sure, yeah, I mean,
it's all there.
the name, my name, whatever. Yeah.
Sure.
It's like my brand or whatever. So yeah, it's important. It was always important for it to like come across. I mean, there were shirts that I hated that people love now.
Yeah, they're
It's
worth
like-
$1,000.
Yeah.
You know about that?
And I was like, I never liked that design. I was like, that design sucked. Like I hated it so bad. And I let it ride. And one we called one like the chicken bone shirt, where it just looked like these splintered bones, and it made like the X.
know that
and
one.
It's like, and people love that shirt. Man.
Yeah.
It's
Worth
crazy.
a lot of money. Go to
Yeah,
millsvintage.com.
it's
Check
wild.
it out.
So it just goes to show you, maybe I know what I'm doing, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But back to the thing,
Yeah.
we were a Blue Grape band.
Interesting.
As part of that initial signing.
For the whole time?
No. I feel like at some point we got off Blue Grape, or it was like partially Blue Grape, and then we kind of did our own thing in Europe with someone else.
'Cause
Maybe
I think all
like
my like set it off Madball stuff is Screen Stars tags.
I have Screen
Yeah.
Stars and Toll.
yeah. So who
Did
that
you
had been?
care about that at the time? Were you like, oh,
No.
I want the Screen Stars blank?
No,
Just-
that's a thing now, though. I know
yeah.
that for sure.
Big time.
I know that for sure.
Big time.
Yeah, I know that even just seeing like a Blue Grape tag or whatever,
Money.
It's like
That's dollar
something-
signs.
That's a big deal. Yeah.
So
Now we didn't know. We didn't. I mean, we were stylish in our own way, like in our own rugged way. So we were like, we knew what we liked, but we didn't care about like who made the shirt kind of thing.
Okay.
Like so much, like that wasn't that big of a deal.
So who is writing Set It Off musically?
Okay, so part of Set It Off comes from Droppin Many Suckers.
Sure.
So we naturally were like, well, we need to do some of those songs again.
Absolutely.
Because we didn't think a lot of people, like not a lot of people heard Droppin Many Suckers. I mean, let's be honest, So
Spit on your grave, never had it. Cross your face.
so we like
Redoing it.
automatically like hijacked part of that, and then that gives us some body to the record.
Yeah.
Because-
And the production quality
Quality
increases.
goes
Like, why
up.
would you not want it?
yeah, let's do this on this.
Preservation. You know.
And then the writing was Matt Henderson, of course. Hoya comes into the mix. He starts bringing in riffs. Naturally, Willie's doing his Willie thing, of course, right?
And
His
on Set
drum-
It Off is like, dude,
Yeah.
Unleashed.
iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Set It Off and Demonstrate My Style were maybe two of Willie's best drumming records, period. Sorry, Willie. Not to take away anything
But
from
like
the
one of-
AF records,
no,
but
but
I
one
think
of
like he
hardcore's
really
best-
stepped outside of his own
Yeah,
box.
Yeah. It's a
on those
totally
records.
different feel. It's a different rhythm.
Different feel.
And they're genre defining. It's not just that they're like band defining or person defining.
I mean,
It's
and
like-
he was on classic AF records,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
like he's not some slouch.
No,
This is
exactly.
Will Shepler we're talking about.
he's doing it again.
He's, came in on Liberty and Justice and for AF, and then was through the rest of. So, yeah, he really did his thing. I would say the majority of the riffs are Maddie and Hoya for sure.
Are you fully taking over lyrics?
I fully take over lyrics, barring a few songs. That's where I started to learn how to write lyrics, and I did that. Like I wanted to do that. I was like, okay, I'm not, I got to speak for myself at this point. Like I can't let other people write for me.
Yeah.
Like with Droppin Many Suckers or Ball of Destruction, which weren't my lyrics at all.
And for people following along at home, this is 94. So you're 18, 19.
Yeah,
when this
94.
is
Yeah,
being
exactly
written.
around there. Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's daunting for anybody
daunting.
at any age, but that's a
Yeah, it's still, and I
the
still
Roadrunner
cringe.
record, the first
Debut LP.
debut, yeah.
I still cringe at some of the lyrics I wrote, but it was also honest and raw and real, and that's all we could ever, it's all you could ever, that's one thing that you're never gonna not get from Madball. I mean, it's honest, it's real, comes from a real place, real experiences.
Yeah.
And that's what I was writing, and then there were a couple songs that I didn't write. Set It Off was written by Hoya. Lyrics.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So I got to credit him for that. I may have thrown my own little accents and cadence and maybe a word or two here and there, but like that was his song. I think that was a song he had been holding on to for a long time because he was very excited to show us that song, and then it became Set It Off. And
Track one,
rightfully
title
so.
track.
Rightfully
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Hell of a song.
I remember he posted a video, like a reel,
Yeah.
explaining how he used to write riffs, and he would loop hip hop drum beats, like.
Yeah, like on YouTube or something, or like wherever. Yeah, he definitely had his own program of how he did things. Maddie was definitely the lead guy.
Yeah.
The most accomplished, experienced. Older. Well, him and Willie are the same age, but like the older guy in our camp at this point. I mean, Vinnie's in the camp, of course.
Yeah.
But Vinnie's just like the overseer. Like he's just like, I'll let you kids do your thing. Let me, when it's time to hit the stage, I'm gonna do my.
He's happy to be there. You're happy to have him.
He's
there.
happy to be there, and we're happy to have him. We got that endorsement from The Godfather.
Yeah.
And Vinnie loves Madball.
He really does.
Legit.
To this day.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, like,
tattooed on his head almost.
I know him since I'm a kid. He's like a older brother to me. We're like family and all that. There's that. But doesn't mean he has to like Madball as much as he does. He genuinely always believed in Madball, but genuinely loves it. So he's cheering us on and the whole thing. But Maddie's lead, and Maddie knows song structure. He knows, he's sort of like the producer, built-in producer.
Yeah.
And he's even taking whatever Hoya's bringing to the table, and he's loving it, but he's also putting it into the format that makes sense.
Processing it a little
He's
bit.
producing.
I'm hearing it.
Literally producing it.
Yeah, producing. Yeah. And I'm hearing it all. And he was even helping me with lyrical, like setting apart choruses versus verses. And it's funny because I know this stuff so well now, but like back then I was just so green, and like I was like, but I started to figure it out pretty quick. And Nat did like the stuff I was writing. He did like a lot of the, the spirit of what I was writing and stuff. So he just kind of helped me like clean it up and formulate things. And so Maddie was really the producer, the built-in producer, and a lot of, obviously a songwriter, and Hoya as well. I wrote most of the lyrics, maybe a couple of songs I didn't, but yeah. And that was how it started to come together. I think we went to like, at that point we were going to maybe the Music Building in like Midtown Manhattan.
The Music Building.
The Music Building, yeah. I feel like the lore is Madonna was there and like lived there or something, like, squatted there, but like wrote some stuff there. I don't know, like a bunch of bands were in and out of there. It was like a thing. But we knew a band that had a spot there. So we like bought into their spot.
Yeah.
Bought some time. And I could be wrong. It might be gray area. There were a few places that we would rehearse at. There was like this crazy downstairs basement spot. I think it was gray area. And there were various rehearsal spots, but the Music Building really stands out to me. and just put them together, man. Just started like, you know, like someone would bring a riff, you know, either Maddie, Hoya, whatever, and then just build on that riff, and they would like, you know, the songs just started to come together, and you know, that's how all those newer songs came to be, and lyrics sort of came on top.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
Nothing came lyric first. It was more. Okay,
That's the way
I
to do
hear
it.
this. I hear that.
Yeah, of course.
Nowadays, I like, you know, I'm more involved in writing, so like I'll get like a chorus can influence a riff,
Totally. Yeah, a phrase. Yeah.
you know. But back then, it was all like I was very reliant on, you know, what I heard to inspire me.
Sure.
Is it you who says we don't fake it, we just take it?
Okay. So that was probably my idea to use that sample.
Oh, I always, the rumor was that it was you.
No. That was Will Shepler.
Wow.
Yeah. Will had the deepest voice of all of us, speaking voice.
Did you know that?
No?
Will Shepler had the deepest speaking voice. I loved that movie American Me at the time.
Yeah. Banger.
It was a classic. And I mean, I saw it in real time at the movie theater. I was like, wow, this is dope, you know? And then, so I obviously borrowed from that, with all respect.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and there were lines that resonated with me and my friends and like how we were living as well. So it wasn't like, you know what I mean? We were faking the funk. It was, you know, stuff that was relatable to our lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I had the idea to use a sample, but it wasn't translating on the thing. And then there was also the clearance stuff and whatever else, possibly. So we had Willie do it in the studio.
That's the way
he
to
killed
do
it.
Yeah, he
And I
really
was
did.
like, okay, that works. Boom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Iconic.
With the street noise and everything, the
Yeah.
squirrel
Yep.
noise.
Yep. Yeah, I forgot whose idea was to do. Yeah, we all kind of collaborated on like whose idea was to like do like but the New York feel to have like the street sounds and like all that. Yeah, that was.
We're going to
important.
get to a couple of them real quick. One more thing about your voice, specifically on this record.
Uh-oh.
No.
I don't love it.
It was a rumor when I was young, like in high school, and I it's probably when I discovered this record, that you whisper yelled it. Yeah,
No.
I knew this wasn't going to be true, but it's just one of those things I want to put
I've
to bed.
never whisper yelled anything. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
It would be like
That's like an oxymoron
to
to whisper yell.
I read between the lines.
Oh God, no. No.
Hey, great to hear.
But I don't love my vocals on that album. I'll
kidding.
say that. I'm sorry to say that
I do.
publicly.
yeah, I do.
Well, as long as you guys
Yeah,
like
it's
it,
great.
man, I'm
really,
good.
really do.
This
and
is-
whoever else out there likes it. I think it was the effect that they put on it.
Whatever compression and
Compression,
There's a little
whatever
chorus.
Jamie Locke put
Little
on it
chorus,
at the
too.
time.
Let's talk Jamie Locke.
Yeah.
The first of 3 records with Jamie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about working with him and dialing in. What
Nice
honestly,
guy. Very nice guy. Very like, how do I say this without sounding offensive? I mean this in the best way, but very like squarish looking guy. Like not the guy you would think was doing a Madball record.
and crafting the Madball sound.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Production
Like regular dude, glasses, like very regular dude.
okay.
But clearly
Yeah.
genius, like behind the boards and like was like knew his stuff. I mean, he had worked, I think, at Normandy. That's how we met. Jamie was AF, I think, worked with him in some capacity at Normandy.
Did he do One Voice?
He was involved in One Voice, I think. I think he was involved in One Voice. He was technically not the guy that was supposed to do One Voice, but something happened, and then like Jamie came in the mix with other people. Don Fury was producing on that too. But I was there. I was in and out of there when they were doing One Voice. I remember popping in. I don't know if I did backups or not, but I remember when they were recording that. But Jamie came from that Normandy camp, and then we somehow, I don't know if Maddie stayed in touch with him or whatever, but like we got in touch with Jamie, and he got on board with our stuff. And then so we were working with him at whatever studio he was working out of. So like, one of them was like Michael Johnson's studio in like Mass area. Funny enough, we've never recorded an album in New York.
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. How crazy is that?
Could amend that. It's never too late. You know?
Yeah.
Might be time. Album
I mean,
10,
we've already done, we have one about to drop, so maybe the next one. No, maybe the next one.
All right.
But
album 11.
I don't know why. I don't know why that is.
Well, I just imagine getting around the city with instruments is hard enough.
Dude, there's like a home video of Warzone going to a show and Ray's going around picking everybody up.
Yeah.
And it's like VHS camera, like in a van.
Oh, that's fun.
It looks like the biggest nightmare.
It's insane.
Oh, it's a nightmare. The city could be a nightmare.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
New York City is my favorite hardcore breakdown of all time.
Yeah.
That song is, I think, my favorite Madball song.
Oh, wow.
I may agree.
And I think it is like the rawest, vulnerable, and I mean that in like a complimentary way.
Yeah, thank you.
And just one of, like a blueprint of how I think a song should go. Truly, it's one of my favorite songs.
Appreciate that.
Did you write those lyrics?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, for sure.
You've encapsulated the hardship of early 90s New York hardcore, New York City, in the hardest song on the album. Tell us about that song. We love it so much.
Yeah, it was just the vibe of the song. I can't remember who wrote the riffs. Like, it was probably a collaboration of Maddie and Hoya, riff-wise. But the vibe of it, you guys know because you both write songs and you're both in bands and you're musicians, and so sometimes a song has a vibe that brings you somewhere. And that's ultimately, like, especially when you're writing to music, how you hear, like, like how it starts.
Well, it starts.
I just envisioned the first lines,
Starts
I see it every day,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I went from there. So it was like, it was the vibe of the music that set the tone for
The music
lyrics.
informed the story.
Was the weapon at the beginning of the song sampled?
Yeah, probably.
That's cool.
Probably, yeah.
You stopped playing this for a long time.
Did we?
Throughout my entire youth.
Did we?
I went to,
It's back on. So
it's back.
Okay, good.
Thank God.
Thank God.
I was always there, and it'd be like, this is the time. They're playing it this time.
I'm so happy
I'd be
you guys-
stretching. I'd be ready.
Okay.
But I'm glad it's back.
It's back.
I think it's got to stay back.
Yeah, I
thank-
forgot why we stopped doing it. It might have been one of those things where, like, we were personally feeling like it wasn't connecting.
Sure.
And you have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
There's songs that I personally would want to play, and it just never clicks live. So it's like, all right, I guess we got to, toss that one to the side.
I don't think that's the case with that one anymore.
No. And we brought it back, and then since we brought it back, I feel like it connects with people a little better
Big
now.
time.
The vocal cadence to the verse.
Yeah.
Did you come up with how that fit?
I did.
It's
what I
like
can remember, yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
I truly think it's like a perfect song.
Yeah. I mean, and my cadence was always subconsciously or consciously influenced by hip hop.
Yeah.
You can definitely feel it in that song.
So
You're in the pocket. You're
Yeah.
having syllables turn around
Yeah.
on the riffs. Reality.
yeah. I mean, I never quite went the rock route, thankfully,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I think thankfully is right.
I definitely have to attribute some influence to, like, just because that's all I listened to in the 90s. I was such a poser with hardcore. I listened to hip hop the whole time. No, but I did listen to my share of hardcore as well, of course. But, it definitely helped.
It gave you a unique perspective.
Helped me understand. Yeah, it gave me. It did. It gave me a unique writing style, I guess you could say. I guess. Yeah.
Lockdown.
Yeah.
Was this a story about a personal experience, or are you singing about Roger or somebody else?
Lockdown. I'm trying to think of the lyrics. I'm trying to scan through the lyrics in my head right now. It wasn't me because
I've done no wrong. I'm an innocent man.
Yeah.
You don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it wasn't about me personally. It was about a couple of guys. It was influenced, let's say. Sorry, I'm like messing with this mic, man. I hope I'm not messing that up. It was influenced by people in our camp, you know, of friends that had gotten into some trouble and like, you know, all that. So yeah, I probably pulled from that, you know, at that point, at that stage in the game. I just wanted to write about real stuff, whether it was like our own experience, like what we were day-to-day stuff, like living in the city at that time, like running around doing what we were doing. Or if I could, you know, pull from someone close to us, their experience, then I would do that.
Write what you know is like the best advice.
Yeah, I think, especially when you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Sure.
Sorry.
No.
As I said before, we are guys who love to know things. And we love nods and we love just whatever, references to other things that you kind of have to be in the know about, whatever. C2IC, RIP,
Yeah.
is one of the coolest. I've talked about this on the show.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's one of the coolest, just like a nod to another band and to another crew and to this group of people from a different part of the country.
Yeah.
Where does Cold as Life and CTYC, like, when did you meet them? How does that work into the Madball, like, lore?
I wanna say I met them on a tour with AF where I had to fill in for my brother. There was an Agnostic Front tour where I had to. It was like, I guess you could say, my training ground for Madball. It was in '92, maybe prior to that, somewhere like that, maybe around close. You know, it's all like the time's all crazy. It's like, but those years, you know,
these years
like
are really busy.
92, 93, like those that time frame. But it was Obituary, Agnostic Front, Malevolent Creation, and Cannibal Corpse.
Jesus.
And Agnostic Front and Obituary were co-headlining, but I think Obituary was mostly headlining because it was a mostly death metal tour.
Sure.
That's actually where I was introduced to Obituary, and I'm not a metal guy. Like I said before, I don't come from metal or punk. I appreciate all music, and I, you know, retroactively get to learn about stuff, and I think Obituary is one of the best metal, death metal, whatever you want to call it, of all time.
Yeah,
easily. They're top 4 for sure.
Of all time. And for me, you know, and that's me coming from like a not metal, you know, I'm not a metal guy, but I really liked Obituary after that tour. I had to sing, my brother had to go, just a quick version of it, my brother had to go have a surgery, something happened, hernia, whatever it was, and he put me on the spot to sing. I didn't want to. I thought it was a big tour for them, and I didn't think that they would want to see a scrawny kid in place of my heavily tattooed brother who's a figure in that world. So I did it anyway because, you know, it's what we do. Family helps each other out. And ended up having fun. The band had fun. We made the most of it. And the first show or second show was Detroit. So talk about being put on the spot. You roll up to Detroit and there's all these hardcore dudes there, tatted up. You know, Detroit had a look. You know, outside of New York, I would say visibly, like aesthetically, like hardness-wise, outside of New York, Detroit was a standout scene. Because like New York was always known for like heavily tattooed chest tattoos and all that stuff. And like had a look, like they just had the look that matched the sound. Outside of that, I feel like Detroit was one of those places, like face tattoos and you know. So anyway, those guys all come out to see my brother in AF, and they get me. And you know, and I was like, oh, how's this gonna go? And you know, I hit it off. They were like very supportive, and like I hit it off with a few of them. And Ronnie, the original singer for Cold as Life, was one of them. We hit it off really well. Jeff, you know, all those guys. And then when Madball came into the picture and we started touring, it just like was a natural Oh, and I think Cold as Life were invited to play an AF show at CB's. So it would have been AF. I think it was AF, Marauder, Cold as Life, Demise, and Madball.
Pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. It was pretty cool. It was Marauder with Minus.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was Marauder with Minus. Hoya played with Demise. Cold as
So
Life.
that would have been like 93, 92 demo?
Yeah. Wow. And that's really where we hit it off.
Okay.
They came to the city. So we met them in Detroit, but they came to the city. We hit it off. There was some tomfoolery that happened at a couple places here and there, but we really we bonded, and we had a barbecue on Vinnie's rooftop in Little Italy. There's pictures of that floating around somewhere, and there's also a picture where like they're all wearing Madball shirts.
Oh, I've seen that.
I think that's from that. Pretty
cool.
sure that's from that. So obviously we bonded, we connected, and I really, Ron and I became almost like, I guess, what would be like pen pals, almost like, you know. And he was a hard dude, man. He was a real one, and we just had a connection. And he would write me to the 10th Street Squat, and I wrote him a couple times before, you know,
Yeah, of course.
things. And so when he passed, it was like man, that sucks. Like somebody killed that dude. Like he was a good dude, you know. And I mean, you got to understand. Like you live in a place like Detroit, you're in this certain element. Anything could happen at any time, you know. I know that well. You know, nearly lost my life on many occasions, so I understand. But it was like, damn, that hurt, man. I was just starting to get to know this guy. What a good dude. Like, it sucked.
And is this one of your first instances, like personally, with death?
I think so.
Grief?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, it was. I hadn't lost many friends at that point, and or even lost many family members, and you know, so yeah, it was a bum out. And so I did that as a tribute to Ronnie, especially, but CTYC because you know those were the homies.
I love it.
We were like, you know, so.
Love it. Paying tribute. Down by Law.
Music video.
Oh my God, what a video. Stigma in the bandana.
Yeah, classic. Bro.
It's a sight to behold.
Classic.
That's good stuff.
You should
Man.
have seen us in Europe, and you want to talk about bandanas and flannels.
Stigma?
Yeah,
Wow.
all.
Who directed this music video?
Drew Stone.
Drew Stone.
Wow.
Okay.
Was this the first music video?
First.
Yeah.
First.
Is this like so Roadrunner's giving you the budget for a video?
No.
No.
Oh.
No, because we're like scrubs in that whole big thing. Yeah. So, but I mean, no, Howie's doing the best he can do for us. I mean, and Roadrunner was, you know, we can talk about it at some point, but they were a huge help for us in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're a European label, essentially. But we didn't have a major budget. We had people that were going to bat for us, but Drew Stone at the time was popping off with the Biohazard stuff. Biohazard was definitely doing its thing.
Was
they
he
were like
managing
separate
them?
from like they were like their own thing. They
Yeah,
were,
big
like,
time.
you know how like you have those bands that just do like they're just them.
They broke through.
Like Biohazard, Hatebreed. Like you have these bands that just they transcend hardcore and they just and we all have our own lane per se, but they just go somewhere else and then just like, you know. So Biohazard was doing a lot of videos, and Drew is a hardcore guy from the New York scene, old school. So, and he loved Madball. He would come and see us at like Wetland, wherever. And so he said to us that he had some leftover film or something from these all these various videos that he was doing for like Biohazard or whatever other big band he was doing. And that he would utilize some of that for us and like kind of do it on the arm, like for nothing. Wow. And I think he did get money for the second one, which was Pride, but the first one, I think he just did it out of love. And it was super guerrilla in Vinnie's neighborhood, alleyway, you saw it.
Was the song, like lyrically, is this about a real person or is this a metaphorical guy?
No, it's about, I'd say it's metaphorical, but also based on some real people.
Okay.
Yeah. Bit of both. Influence inspired by
Actual events. Okay.
Why was this song chosen to be the video?
That's a good question. Man. I honestly can't remember how we came to that. I don't know why. Maybe because we thought it was a little bit more mellow and palatable somehow to people because of the bounce of it.
Yeah.
Could be, hip hoppy and maybe, this is a way to ease people in to this craziness that we do. What people? I don't know what we were thinking. We weren't thinking hey, we're gonna be on MTV, whatever. But
was this?
Which we did end up being on MTV, actually. Funny enough, but yeah, I don't know. I can't remember exactly the thought process that went into us picking Down by Law as the first single.
Was the label maybe part of the decision?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Likely. And we respected, because we were green, so we kind of were but it was also someone that we knew, Howie, so we're we trust.
You trust him?
We trusted him, yeah.
Okay.
Can you describe to me the feeling of just hearing, getting the master back for Set It Off and hearing this start to finish? How you guys felt about it?
We thought it was definitely different than what was out there.
Did you feel as though it was
I didn't love my voice. I didn't love my vocals.
Right.
But I thought the production was solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially for that time. You're listening to it, 90s with those ears.
I mean, it's still the snare drum on that thing.
It's still pretty solid,
Still
right?
one of my
I haven't
favorite,
listened to it in a long while.
It's
but
unbelievable.
Is it still hold up?
I listened to hours of Madball yesterday.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Oh, cool.
We've been in prep mode.
We've been getting ready.
No, we were happy, with the overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everything from the aesthetics of it, even the cover to everything. So we were stoked. We were psyched about it.
Who's that baby?
No one that we know.
Yeah, that's a old, it's every once in a while the full photo.
Yeah, the
will
real
come
photo
across
comes out.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
My feed, yeah. It's like
he
a
gave
cropped.
he gave his daughter or son a gun for christening or something, and
And it's honestly
we
kind
found
of,
it. Just
it's this
through pictures.
unbelievable metaphor for your life.
Yeah.
Where-
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Funny, right?
AF just set you on this path when you're 7.
Yeah. And they gave me a gun.
And they gave you a gun.
They gave you a microphone. Yeah. There's another sample at the end, I believe. Made It Ma, Top of the World.
Yeah.
Right?
That was from
I always want to say it's Dr. Strangelove, but it's not Strangelove.
Cagney and Lacey.
That's right.
James Cagney. Made Him Top of the World.
Is it
Hot White Heat or Riot or something. I don't know. One of those kind of old school gangster flicks.
Yeah.
That might have come. I forget who. That might have been Hoya that thought of using that sample.
Very nice.
Public domain.
He's done it again.
Public domain at that point.
That might have been his idea for that sample. But yeah, we had these ideas to use these samples from things that we were that thought made sense with the vibe and the lyrical content.
Sure.
Of the whole thing.
So when Hoya presents Set It Off, the song,
Yeah.
does that trigger any kind of emotion in you of yeah, this is the one, let's go. You've done it.
Yeah, we all thought it was dope.
Okay.
Yeah, we all thought it was dope. I mean, I don't remember how much refining Maddie may have done to it. But he could answer that better. But I don't think it was much. It was not to it was like a fully realized song actually when it came even lyrics. So yeah, I mean, I give him all, hats off to him for that because that's hard to do.
Big time.
And he really never really did that again after because,
You didn't need to, really.
Yeah, no, but you know what I mean? Like
Get a home run and you walk out.
like not like to discredit, you know, I'm not saying this in any kind of like negative way, but like, you know, he was good at coming with riffs, but didn't always come with full songs, fully realized songs.
Sure.
And I mean, maybe no one did at that time because, you know, maybe Maddie,
Yeah.
you know, because he was the most accomplished, but like, it was always like a mix of this riff, this, that, and then Willie comes in, and then I throw my thing on top, like kind of deal. So it's hard to come with a fully realized song, lyrics and all. And I think that was like maybe the first and only time that happened for Hoya. But it was a hell of a song.
Oh, yeah.
It was a hell of a song.
You still play it?
Yeah,
Still good.
It was a hell of a song, yeah. Yep.
How close are you and Roger during Set It Off? Is he part of the process at all? Is he there? Is he present for any of it?
I mean, we're close.
Yeah.
Cause he's still, pretty sure he's still living in New York. Cause he went away for a bit to go do some like, he went to like a Harley Davidson school in like Northern Florida for a little bit, but like that was just brief. Yeah, he's around. Yeah, he's around. He's around New York. He's kicking it around. He wasn't involved in like the writing process or anything like that. No, not so much. But cheering us on as always.
He hears about the Roadrunner contract.
Yeah.
and he's
Oh,
like,
yeah. No, he's in the know for sure. He's in the know. He backs it.
Okay.
He's like all for it. He's like wanting me to like run with it.
Okay.
Because in his mind, I think at this point, he's done with music. I
Interesting.
can't speak for him.
Sure.
He'll elaborate. But that's my assessment. He's kind of like, okay, well, I've done this band since 80, whatever, 2, 1.
Hardcore's changed a lot.
Hardcore's
Music's changed
changing,
a
and
lot.
it's always that, and it's still that. And maybe I need to like secure some kind of like backup thing, and so that's what he went and did. But it brought him back in.
Sure.
Yeah, you know, sure. We assisted in that a little
Yeah.
bit. We
we're almost there.
facilitate.
We're almost there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you without my older brother, you know, like without him showing me.
Yeah.
How has your relationship changed through the years? And like, are you guys actively kind of pushing each other creatively?
Definitely always rooting each other on. Definitely.
Okay.
I don't know that we're pushing each other creatively, like actively doing that. But maybe just by the fact that we're both active and doing our things, we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
There's never a competition. Like, who's going to compete with AF? No one. So that's out of the... But, you know, there's always like, you know, everyone wants to do, you know, their thing at the highest level, right? Whatever their thing is. So, yeah, they want that out of, you know, for themselves. And I want that for them.
Yeah.
And they want that for us.
Yeah.
You know?
Is his approval
more
important than anybody's to you, maybe?
It's important for sure.
Okay.
It's important for sure. I mean, ultimately, it's like the people that consume it and like want to be a part of the experience. That's a very important.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's number one.
That's number one, for
universally.
You know what I mean?
When
But
somebody's-
obviously, there's people like Roger, but other people, even friends, people that have been in this band. A perfect example is recently like Mitz. Mitz was a big part of our band for a lot of years, and he doesn't get enough credit. Great guitar player, also a good songwriter. And he recently heard our new album and was floored by it and loved it. Not to like insert that, but I have to insert it because it touches on your point. And that approval meant more to me than if like a label guy would have said it's great. Because he lived in this band for 14 or 15 years. We've written together. We've done albums together. And he's been removed from the band. Not removed like I removed him. I'm saying he's been removed from the band setting. He retired. Whatever. But that approval meant a lot to me. So there's certain key people that really like them liking it is like almost more important than like if your label guy likes it or like if whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. And thus concludes part 1 of this incredible 5-hour conversation with the great Freddy Madball. Stick around next week when we talk about the New York Hardcore documentary, the Agnostic Front reunion,
demonstrate my style, hold it down, look my way, and literally everything in between and after. See you next week.